For a great afternoon of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports. Two Men On, with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610. These.
It's Tuesday, Albuquerque. You know what that means? That means the boys are at Duke City Cages. We're hanging out all night long up until 7 o'clock. Then this show becomes the Lobo Coaches Show. It's the Lobo Talk.
All right, a lot to talk about in Lobo Land. 3-game winning streak. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Big win over the weekend for the Lobos. You guys talked about that yesterday. That was a lot of fun while you were at Howie Sports Page. I was on assignment. Thank you for having me back. My assignment was get hyped for the NBA. So I'm currently doing that. I'm doing it, Van. I'm hyped.
Well, the gay boys who will be joining us later in the program to talk fantasy enforced my excitement in the NBA this year as they guilted me into being in their fantasy basketball league. So I'm going to pay more attention to the NBA than I ever have in my entire life.
I don't know if it was worth doing that.
Hey, it was worth it because in the third pick of the draft, I got Wemby, baby. Let's go.
He will not be very good, is what all NBA predictors are telling me. That's what I'm reading on the internet. He's not the truth.
All NBA predictors
they're saying
are wrong, apparently. I don't know where you're getting your data. But he's the best player in the history of the game.
I'm a New York Post guy.
Yeah. Page 6er.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a big. I only care about Bronny James. That's the only one I care about.
Okay.
Nothing else matters in the league. Okay. I saw the new Nike commercial today with LeBron and Bronny. It is the greatest sports story since Griffey Sr., Griffey Jr. It is the greatest thing to ever happen. LeBron James playing with his son, Bronny James. And I'm really excited for, I'm going to say midseason, maybe the All-Star game, when they fire J.J. Redick in L.A. and Bronny Jr. takes over as the head coach of the team. I think it's going to be tremendous. I think it's going to be awesome.
If you think that's a real thing that's going to happen in real life, brother, please get some skin in the game. Vegas will take your bet.
You think just because he doesn't look ready for the NBA?
Correct.
And it kind of is right now looking like he'll never be ready for the NBA. But
the greatest on-court mind in the history of the NBA is unarguably his dad, LeBron James.
Combined, they're the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA.
Correct.
Did you see the video of LeBron? He's pouring Fruity Pebbles into Bronny's car.
I literally just said I saw that commercial. It's fire.
It's not. It was a different one. There's multiple ones.
Okay. So the one that Isaiah is mentioning is the exact one I was talking about, and that's why it's the best thing to ever happen.
Is that why?
They undoubtedly will become the first ever father-son duo to play professional basketball together, and that's the greatest thing
Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. have courtside seats for this game.
That's lovely.
They'll be there. I think that's super cool.
Yes. I want all father-son duos to be there, not just in sports, but in the world.
Sure.
Because I'm there in spirit. I'm super there.
It doesn't seem like it.
If Tom Brady would have hung on a couple more years, he could have completed this as well, as his daughter probably would have been like a sideline reporter or something. So that could have happened too.
Like the only father-son broadcast duo in the history of sports.
Yeah.
Father-daughter.
Father-daughter, yeah.
But father-they.
It's 2024. I don't care anymore, apparently.
We don't know.
You live your life.
I know that this will be the best NBA season ever because I recently watched the Paris Olympics. And guys like LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, when they were over there, they found what I don't like being guarded from the masses is unfair, the fountain of youth.
Correct.
Yeah, they drank from it. They have now all gone back in time 5 years easily, 10 years to their prime. and they will put up more points than ever. There will be more highlights than ever.
Okay.
The viewership will be higher than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Bronny comes off the court, those three guys will make an impact too.
Yeah, a hard agree. This is the story of the day. Is Bronny going to get any minutes in the game with his dad?
He will. He should start the game, but I feel like they won't, so that will allow a standing ovation when he comes in.
Or like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when they're either winning or losing or getting blown out or blowing somebody out is when you bring him in.
So
he is not NBA ready.
He only checks in 2 minutes left in the game after he checked in earlier in the game, but that one you're talking about is the LeBron James is checking out. Like he brings him the towel in that moment. So you're going to get 2 moments tonight.
And they don't play on the court together?
No.
They just do the crossover?
They played on the court earlier in the night. So like in the first half, they play on the court at the same time, and you're going to get, and it's going to be a set play, and I didn't even bother to look who the Lakers are playing because I only care about Bronny, but they are in on it. There's going to be an alley-oop. It's going to be a finish above the rim. They're going to point. There's going to be a timeout called by, I believe, God. And then they will embrace center court.
Or a Coca-Cola company or Amazon, because they're going to do it right after a TV timeout, of course.
Yes, of course.
And come back when the attention's squarely on them.
Yes. It's going. And then at the very end of the game, as you mentioned, Bronny will check in with 2 minutes left as the Lakers, who, by the way, are going undefeated this season, when Bronny plays.
Well, we all know that they're going to shoot more free throws than their opponent. So that puts them in a good position to win a lot of games.
And also defensively, it's locked down on the perimeter now with Bronny out there. So no one is going to hit a three against them.
Yeah.
He's
the 2 to 6 minutes that he'll play every game, locking them down.
White 26 is what you meant to say. He's going to play 26 minutes a game. He's better than Corners or whoever that other kid is they drafted in the first round.
If Bronny James plays 26 minutes tonight, I will go to Zay's barber and shave Bronny's head in my head. I will put a likeness of Bronny James, Vanilla Ice style, shaved into the side of my head if he plays 26 minutes.
Does he have a logo yet?
After I shave it in my head, he will.
Okay. And there's going to be a lot of dumb NBA conversation about how, like, Bronny's not ready. There's going to be a lot of dumb NBA conversation about how he's taken, like, a jersey from someone who should be there. There's going to be a lot of dumb NBA conversation about how it's nepotism.
Sure.
All of that energy.
Which it is.
Hold on.
It's not up for debate. It's nepotism.
Traditionally, second-round guys make NBA teams sometimes.
They do.
This is one of those times.
But their dad isn't the best player of all time, and they don't get guaranteed multi-million-dollar contracts.
So Van, where do you stand for this? Do you think that, like, so before the injury at USC, do you think even in high school he was overrated as well? Or do you think he maybe in high school he was that big deal, but then in college you think he became overrated?
I can't wait for your heart to break when Van, like every other like sensible human being, tells you they have no idea what Bronny did in high school. Ready, Van?
I have no idea what Bronny did in high school.
No one does.
But I know he
was ranked top 15.
Like
so
3.5. Because his dad is. Of course he's ranked that high.
Yeah, so you answered my question.
Nobody looks at high school whatever's. Like, that's not like the talk. The
last basketball player that I watched play high school games
was LeBron James.
Yes.
You didn't watch Zion? Oh, you were out of the loop. You didn't watch Zion in high school or LaMelo Ball. You're way at Alonzo. You're way out the loop.
Could not tell you what high schools they went to.
No.
Here are the high schools I know. I know that LeBron James went to Vincent St. Mary's, and that might not be completely pronounced correctly.
St. Vincent Mary.
Yeah.
Very close. I know that Kobe Bryant went to Lower Merion because they would announce it.
Yeah.
I know that Kevin Garnett went to a high school.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And I know that Darius Miles went to East St. Louis.
And,
those I can say.
Larry Bird was at French Lick High.
Oh,
that's probably not correct.
Well, he went to Indiana State, which I think they probably said at the NBA. Also, I think his intros were different before the 90s Bulls made intros cool.
Yeah.
So it was just like a boring thing where it was like It actually started like this at Celtics games, which not enough people talk about.
Yeah.
But they would say, and for your Boston Celtics, Dirty Larry and the boys.
Yeah. It's sponsored by your local True Value Hardware. Larry Bird, everybody.
Yeah, check it out. The best team in the NBA that doesn't have Bronny is the Thunder.
Say it, Zay.
They will
Say Thunder.
They will win 71 games and lose one.
They are young and they are good, and they're going to be good for a long time.
They're going to lose to the Lakers one time. And Brian's going to hit the game winner from the free throw line.
I love this Bronny hype
Close enough.
train you're on. I think it's cool enough that he gets to play with his dad. You think he's actually good at basketball, which is wild.
I know he's good. He's in the NBA.
Okay.
It's like a factual thing. Like, you don't get to the NBA and not be good. You know who I saw? Jimmer Fredette. He sucked.
Sucked at 3-on-3 too, unfortunately.
Yeah, he didn't win no gold medal like LeBron James
That
did.
was an embarrassment.
I don't think he even won
to our country and Utah specifically.
They didn't even get second. I don't think they got top 3.
That would be meddling. He shouldn't meddle in basketball anymore.
No, after I saw the tape.
Yeah, he should go start a playground company or something. So put down blacktop that he's not allowed to dribble on. That should be his deal. It'll be low key though. Like this will be one forever, ever when they're in the game at the same time. Like
you have to, and I don't know the logistics of it. You can't start him because that's offensive to the game of basketball. But the first TV timeout, you bring him in
the 6-minute timeout,
2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever, to play with his dad, and hopefully they do get that one alley-oop moment or whatever it is. Bronny gets a steal and a breakaway layup, something like that. I mean,
JJ already knows when he's going in, regardless of what's happening. The script is LeBron said Bronny's going in at, and that's when he's going to go in.
Yeah.
It'll be second quarter. I think it'll be second quarter around like 8-minute mark.
If it's second quarter around 8-minute mark, that is the greatest moment in the NBA's history.
That'd be what, the second TV timeout?
It would be it would be like number 4 at that point. But it won't. It'll be in the first quarter. It'll be get it out of the way early.
Yeah, the first rotation change is when they should bring him in.
And it's a West Coast game. So that'll be 8:00 here. So you want to that's 10 o'clock in the East Coast. You want everyone to see it in prime time. Mm-hmm. First quarter for sure.
Oh, yeah, get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
So Scott Van Pelt can talk about it tonight.
100%. Yeah. So that East Coasters can retweet it before they go to bed.
Exactly that.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And you'll get a bunch of hey, I'm a guy whose father recently passed away. Yeah. You'll get a bunch of people who are like, love my dad. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, yeah, no, I totally relate to this. Like this is awesome. Except all my professional success had nothing to do with my dad previously having a career in it. But it's very similar.
Both of you guys can fix stuff. That translated. Neither of you went pro at it, but I mean,
I'm pretty handy.
You're a handy guy.
Yeah. I don't struggle.
That's what your pops was name, Handy Randy. That's what they called him.
Also, to be fair, I dead ass have a better jumper than Bronny, and I mean,
okay, well that's an insanely low bar. That's like an insanely low bar.
I don't know.
He can hit in the open court. He'll go in there and look like
undercut a guy in a layup.
If he's, are you saying an NBA player can hit a wide open jump shot?
No, he had like 10 in a row. He had like 10 threes in a row. You gotta be a little certified. I mean, everyone hits 10 shots in a row when they're by themselves shooting hoops, but
I don't think I could hit 10 threes in a row. I think I could hit almost 10 free throws in a row. There was a time when I said I could have hit 10 free throws in a row. I would take me more than a couple minutes to get that muscle memory back.
Agree. Yeah, give you one day in the gym.
Oh, and let me come back the next day?
Yeah,
I could do it.
Yeah.
10 free throws, though, once you get to 7, you're going to start thinking.
Well, I didn't bother to think during the first 7. Well, I'm going to mess it up.
Well, there's no pressure with those. Once you know you're 3 away, that's when that 8, 9, 10.
I'm that classic Rihanna situation, though, like a diamond. Like, you put a little pressure on me, shine through. We're going to talk NBA all day. We're going to talk fantasy football as well as we need to recap this big weekend. I am on a tear in the world of fantasy. We'll go through that. Also, Van suffered through an NBA fantasy draft. We'll talk to him about his ignorance on pronunciation of Eastern European players. What other thing did you struggle with?
I will see you after the break.
I like that one a lot.
Okay.
NBA Prize Picks is about as fun as any Prize Pick, so we're going to talk about that as well. So we'll get into the world of Prize Picks. Obviously, we're at Duke City Cages today, so we're going to go over the world of baseball at length. This right now is the worst part of October today with no baseball. It is nice that baseball gave the NBA a chance to show up. Baseball comes back Friday, boys. So the World Series starts Friday. We're going to obviously hype that all week long and then talk about how we're going to enjoy it over the weekend. I have personally a big weekend doing a bunch of stuff with the gravel grinder, doing some Day of the Tread stuff. So you can see me out there congratulating you across the finish line. That would be awesome. Now, I did not get to tune in yesterday. Did you guys get to recap Zay's football broadcast?
Oh, we did. Yes.
Yeah.
And he also got to talk about broadcast techniques with Voice the Lobos' Rob Portnoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Isaiah, when Rob was talking to you, one of the best broadcasters in the history of the world, about your first day on the job, do you feel like he was being sincere? Do you feel like he was belittling? Like, what energy did you feel from Rob Portnoy?
Well, he didn't give me any specific pointers. It was more so me telling him some things that I thought were unexpectedly challenging. Yes.
So you had a streaker on the field. Is that what you're saying?
No streakers. I noticed the big thing is not stopping mid-sentence. Like if you think one team's going to recover the ball and you start to say that and then the other team recovers, you're better off just finishing your sentence and then speaking again once you know what's going to happen rather than like stopping mid-sentence over and over and over, like hesitating.
So on your broadcast, people were watching and listening or just listening?
They could see.
Oh, they could see it too. I was going to say, if they're just listening, you just make stuff up.
And that's exactly that's what some people were saying. But you know, after the first half, when I realized like, wait, they can see this, I calmed down and I was like, they can see this with me. I don't have to be a radio broadcaster, which is what I think I was really going at the first half.
Well, I'm really excited that it was harder than you thought.
It was definitely harder than I thought it was going to be.
But I've been watching sports my whole life, Fred. This is gonna be easy.
I won't even have to look down at a roster sheet. I know every single Dallas Cowboy player.
I can remember all 80 of these kids. Yeah.
Low key, all their names are similar too. There's Aiden and Jaden and Braden and
So
Caden
many
and Daden and Faden and Maiden and Layden and Zayden.
What was hard about Robertson is their quarterback and their wide receiver are twin brothers, and both their last names Gonzalez. But then they also have a receiver who was getting a lot of catches. His last name was Gonzalez, but there's Z's on the twins' last name, and then the receiver had an S. So it was really hard.
That's an easy one.
You're not spelling their names on air.
No, but there's Nathaniel Gonzalez and then Nathan Gonzalez.
Oh, no, that's unfair.
It
was really unfair, and one of them was a twin brother. So I was like, oh.
You just call one of them Nasty Nate and the other one Nate Nasty.
It was Nathaniel and Nathan, and the two different guys.
Did you get a chance to talk to their parents? Did you say why?
Well,
why did you forsake them?
The quarterback's name was James Gonzalez. So him and Nathaniel were twin brothers, but Nathan Gonzalez was a receiver. Yeah, he had the S at the end.
This is an easy one. Nate with an S, Nate with a Z. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, live from Duke City Cages, the sports animal.
This
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On, where Simon Gay is joining us on the program. Simon, welcome. That's a strong sup you just gave us.
Coming in hot.
It's like
feeling verbose today.
It's got a story to tell, do you, Simon?
I'm just waiting for Stafford to get traded to the Vikings.
All right, we're talking fantasy football. Obviously, it is fire sale for the St. Louis Rams of Los Angeles, Angels County, as they are moving Cooper Kupp. Allegedly, Matt Stafford's on the way out. Their only good player is the one running back. You would assume they'd try to keep him. It's going to be tough out there for anyone who's a fan of the Horns.
Well, the thought process behind that is they want Darnold because Stafford's 36,
Too old, can't
so
win.
They want
past his prime.
They want Darnold because McVay can make that work, and then when Puka comes back, it'll be Puka, Darnold, and Kyron Williams.
O'Connell's been making Sam Darnold work. He doesn't need McVay. They're friggin' 5-1. That is wild seeing that. Like,
But do you know how good they'll be with Matthew Stafford?
How is Matthew Stafford that much of an upgrade over Sam Darnold? The way Sam Darnold's playing? I don't think that's like an obvious upgrade.
I'd be more comfortable. Like, if I had to guess, all right, because right now I still expect the Vikings to have some sort of nosedive at some point. But with Matthew Stafford, I think you're more comfortable that, like, what you see is what the team's going to be when you need him to be that.
He's been good for longer. He's smart. He's won a Super Bowl.
Durable.
Well, not really. He gets hurt a lot.
I mean, if I was the Rams, I'd do it. Like,
oh yeah,
this is the end of the F them picks era. Like, you got your championship. You got to hoist the Lombardi. Like, now just blow it all up and start over again.
Also, I just saw my email that F them picks renewed in our GoDaddy, so we still own it.
Excellent.
If you go to fthempicks.com, it goes directly to us.
Yeah.
Welcome to the game. Yeah, him going to the Vikings, fine. Like, whatever, that helps the Vikings.
Oh, it makes Justin Jefferson the number one fantasy wide receiver.
That's sweet.
It would be unreal.
It doesn't make the Vikings the number one team, though, because then they immediately will trade Cooper Kupp to the Chiefs, and then everyone is cooked.
Yeah. I do think there's a chance that could happen because the Rams could keep all the money. I was just talking to Ben during the break.
Yeah.
And if the Rams keep the money, they can trade him to whatever team they want. And the only team that is like Super Bowl contending without a wide receiver is the Chiefs.
That would just be gross.
It's what the NFL does. That's their thing.
It would just replace Rashee Rice. That's basically what it is.
In his play style, Cooper Kupp, really a good possession receiver, would be perfect for Mahomes.
Oh, and Harrison Butker would be so happy. Oh, my goodness. A top shelf wide receiver in the same locker room as Harrison Butker. Oh, my God. That's a buddy sitcom waiting to happen.
The trade deadline is not for 2 weeks, and the Rams play the Vikings this Thursday, so you would imagine nothing will happen before then because you're not trying to hand over playbooks.
I believe the trade deadline's a week from today.
I thought it was 2 weeks. Look at me not knowing.
I'm pretty sure it's the Tuesday of week 8.
Ooh, okay. Look at them. Look at the brain on.
Is Sam Darnold about to be the first 5-1 or 6-1 quarterback to ever be traded in the history of the NFL?
They actually moved it back a week because they extended the season. I'm sorry.
Oh, interesting.
It's after week 8.
So it is November 5th, the exact thing I said.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's going to be a crazy day. There's something else going on that day.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Pretty big.
What is it going on? Something's going on that day.
Yeah. I'm actually real worried about Philadelphia that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big, and Pittsburgh. I'm real worried about Pittsburgh and Philadelphia on those days. And Atlanta. Detroit. I'm a real Detroit guy.
Raleigh, North Carolina is going to get weird. Green Bay, Wisconsin, going to get real weird.
You got butterflies about that day, November 5th? Your butterflies getting a little nervous.
If you don't, you're not in America.
Yeah.
That's going to be wild, brother. And it's the NFL trade deadline.
All right, so
I don't know if we mentioned that.
Simon, help me out here. So what percentage chance do you think Matthew Stafford gets traded? Is it 46.5%?
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna be able to make it work.
That's so good.
I don't think you trade. Does he have like a no trade deal or something? Like, is that why he has to go to the Vikings? Is there not like they can just ship him wherever they want to ship him?
Oh, probably.
Also, can you imagine showing up in Carolina and being like, nah,
Sure.
nah,
Hard pass.
this ain't the one for me. Is Cooper Kupp coming back this Thursday?
Oh yeah, he's playing.
For sure.
Pretty sure he's off the injury report right now. And then Puka just got his practice window just got opened, so he'll be
back probably 2
He'll
weeks.
be back in week or 2.
Yeah, if you're Darnold, I mean, maybe you feel a little disrespected because you've had a good year, but if they're coming back healthy, you're not too upset. You're still going to a good team. I think McVay is going to be a better coach than what he's dealing with in Minnesota.
I'd rather get traded. They have JJ McCarthy who's going to play next year or the year after. If you go to the Rams, they're probably going to extend him, and they're going to extend him for cheap because he's not the best quarterback in the league, so he's not going to be the highest paid guy. But then he'll have a few years to actually be the guy. JJ McCarthy's going to take the spot eventually.
Well, the Rams are about to lose to the Vikings. So what is their end of the season thing? Do they have first round draft picks yet? Again, I don't know.
We see this in baseball all the time. Like teams playing each other at the trade deadline will swap players, and they just walk right from dugout to dugout. This is going to be the first time that we see a trade happen right before the game, and Stafford and Darnold just swap jerseys and walk across the other sideline.
That'd be really funny because they would have no idea what the playbook is. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Like the funnest game of backyard football you've ever seen.
The Rams have their first 2/3, so they traded their second to the Panthers.
Okay. Well, you having a first is a one, though, because that gives you a shot at, a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
Not after last weekend do I want the kid from Texas, but there's like a lot of talented quarterbacks coming out.
Well, if they're trading for Darnold, they're not going to take a quarterback.
Yes, they will. And then you sit them on the bench for
if
a
they
year.
trade for Darnold, they're not going to be in a spot to take a quarterback.
Oh, because they'll win games.
Yes. Right now, right now, according to like NFL scouts, there's only one quarterback that's even being talked about going first, and it's Shedeur Sanders.
But until January, and then there'll be 6 of them in the first 10 picks every year.
Quinn Ewers could transfer and stay in college. If he stays in college, he can't go back to Texas.
You know what I would love?
They're going to make him leave, so he'll transfer.
That's good.
Cam Ward is good, but he fumbles the ball 400 times. So it's probably going to be Shedeur Sanders. He fumbled 47 times in like 3 years.
That's so much.
Yeah, well,
he's the guy's trying to make a play.
He's 100% of every play.
It's because he carries the ball like LaShawn McCoy, but as a quarterback.
He's
just holding it out wide.
He looks cool, though, when he's running. Also, I would be super impressed with NFL Scout if they got over this weird COVID hump where they forgot how to scout players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there has been such a failure at scouting that quarterback position over the last 4 years that if they've now discovered it and they're like, hey, there really is just 1 or maybe 2 first-round talents, I'd be like, that makes more sense than you telling me the first 6 picks are all quarterbacks. That does not track.
If you ask Zay somehow, the Cowboys are going to get Shedeur Sanders, Ashton Genty, and like a defensive end from Georgia somehow.
I hope the Cowboys draft a running back in the first round again.
I hope we get Genty. I'm all for it. If Zeke doesn't get fat, and that's a great pick. The first 2 years it was an amazing pick. So I'm all for
wrong.
Genty.
He did have a moment. But
he was
fell
the
off
best.
so fast.
Yeah, he fell off so fast, and it sucks. But no, I want Genty. I wish we could get Shedeur. I feel like every time he has protection, it seems like every pass is accurate.
Zeke was like one of the best running backs in the league for like 6 years. You guys realize that, right?
Elliott? He had a touchdown streak.
For 6 years.
The best one I think I've ever seen.
And then his 7th year, he had 12 touchdowns, but he got hurt. And then when he went to New England, he's horrible. But he was so good before that.
He was.
When you draft a running back nowadays, you're drafting them for the 5 years of their rookie contract if you take them in the first. And then after that, you sign them for 1 or 2 years, and then they're done.
When we get back from the break, we continue from Duke City Cages. We're going down the world of fantasy football. Specifically, if you're a fan of any players in Tampa Bay in the world of fantasy, RIP to your season.
And the 49ers.
2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
The Sports Animal.
Mike's hot.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Van Nunley is here. Simon Gay. What's the worst pronunciation you've ever heard of your last name?
That's it. If you mess that up, there's something wrong with you.
All right, talk to me about Tampa Bay wide receivers, Simon. Chris Godwin is done forever, ever? Is that correct?
Just for the year, but it's so stupid. 40 seconds left, and you're throwing, and you have him on the field. You're down by 10 with no timeouts. It's almost impossible to win, and there's no point in hurting him when you already lost Mike Evans in the game. He's done for the year for sure. Dislocated his ankle. He had, I think, he either
surgery today. Yeah,
it was
surgery
today.
What does dislocated ankle mean?
His report says likely done for the year. He's done for the season. He's not coming back.
A dislocated ankle is worse than a break. It's like it actually is completely off. Like that's when you see the gross ones. Yeah, that's when it's all turned.
Your ankle's on that the two ball joints, and it comes out of that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's stressing your Achilles, it's stretching all the tendons in your ankle, it's stretching everything. So they have to have surgery, put it back where it's at, and then you have to let everything heal.
I one time dislocated a shoulder, did not have surgery. Don't know how similar that is.
Not the same.
Hurt a lot.
It can honestly the concept of it can be because there's ligaments holding it together, and then when it dislocates, it's obviously going to be tearing ligaments. Things are overstretched.
What?
If you dislocated your shoulder, your labrum might be torn and it just doesn't hurt as bad because you don't use it as much. But most of the time, if you dislocate your shoulder and it stays out, something's torn.
And if it dislocates something and you don't have surgery, you're more likely for it to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
That is a true statement.
Because he had surgery.
So that was my thing.
You have to on an ankle, but he'll be fine when he comes back next season.
I have one stretched ligament on the outside, and it pops all the time. Don't know if it's healthy. Probably not. Andy Dalton was in a car accident 45 minutes ago. There is no luck for the Panthers. So it looks like he is okay, but just everything sucks, right?
He'll be messed up for a bit. He probably won't play. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's not very much news about that. It'll come out more later. But with the Buccaneers, there's really not anyone you can pick up that's going to make a big difference on your team for fantasy. Trey Palmer's worth an ad. Jalen McMillan's worth an ad, but there's really not many guys on that team that are going to immediately make a big impact in fantasy.
Baker's having a great year, and obviously he's getting a lot of help from Evans and Godwin. Was getting a lot of help from Evans and Godwin, but you don't think that Baker can feed a fantasy relevant wide receiver?
I think he will, but I think it's because the other guys aren't that great. Those guys aren't Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
And Mike Evans is out until week 11, 12 is what I saw. So you guys know what this means.
It's the biggest impact for Kate Otten and Rashad White.
It's not 100%. Pick up the kicker. That's what this means.
No.
The punter?
No. It's going to be Kate Otten, their tight end, and all three of the running backs are going to be good. But the wide receivers, I think, are going to struggle. Unlike the 49ers, Juwan Jennings is going to be good, and Ricky Pearsall has a chance to be really good because Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL and MCL on a horrible throw by Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it was gross.
I saw the picture of it. His leg was like bent completely the wrong way. And Deebo Samuel has pneumonia, who will be out a week or two.
So I saw he got out of the hospital today. Does that still mean a week or two?
I don't think he'll play this coming game, but he's Deebo Samuel, so he might.
Going back to Andy Dalton real quick with that car accident. The car accidents hit you a day later.
Yes.
Yeah. So like your body does all the stuff it does to protect itself. So we'll see on that. Also, he was traveling with his family and stuff, and no one was transported via medical, but just kind of talks about how anything can happen at any time.
And I don't know why the Panthers were starting Dalton this far into the season anyways. The Panthers are garbage. They're going to be garbage with whoever is going to be their quarterback. But you got a number one pick. Like, you gave him a couple weeks off. He was embarrassing himself out there. You gave him a couple weeks off. Now let him go back and play some football. It's like swim time, baby.
When we come back from the break, we talk about the greatest fantasy football player ever and how they're currently playing for the Baltimore Ravens. It's 2 and on 95.9 FM and 610 live from Dixon Cages. Welcome back to the program. We're Jared, welcome.
Thank you.
World of fantasy football. Obviously, touch on the NBA a little bit to start. We will revisit that World Series this weekend. It is an absolute honor of the week. Derrick Henry through 7 weeks, 935 scrimmage yards, 10 total touchdowns. He's the best thing I've seen in fantasy since Damian, since Priest.
It's a cheat code, and I am so upset I don't have him in a single league, even though I targeted him in every league.
I don't have him at all. I'm bummed because we were high on him.
Yeah,
And I don't know if I think it was you early on in the draft season. And I will say I wasn't as bullish as you were. You're like, he might be number 3, like McCaffrey, maybe Brees or Bijan. And then Derrick Henry, I'm like, I don't know about that, but he is. The biggest issue I have is the announcers are so unaware. They're like, look at all these teams that didn't want Derrick Henry this year. I'm like, every single person on the planet knew he was going to the Ravens.
Sure.
There was no bag of money someone could throw at a 30-year running back where he would have went anywhere but Baltimore.
Well, Jerry Jones doesn't fit their scheme, so he definitely wasn't going to Cowboys.
My life.
He's
already hit.
He has a scheme.
He's already hit his season over for touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was handicapped at 9.5. He's already got hit.
Yeah, I drafted him in 2 weeks, and I traded for him in Dynasty, and that's been a good move.
Attaboy.
He's doing something real different out there too. Where you look at him, you think 30 years old, the way his body's built. You're like, oh, okay, he's going to take a bad hit. He's going to go down. Not a single one. Right? And I was an 0-2 start is what Baltimore had this year, 0-2, and now they look like world beaters all of a sudden. And you look at that dude, well, this is a guy that's literally going to carry this team to the very, very end. This is a dude that's going to make sure this team is playoff bound or otherwise bound because they're that special.
I mean, this tells you a lot of things about Derrick Henry and the NFL. Number one, he's been that dude. And number two, he's been held back so bad. The Tennessee Titans were so much worse when he was there than he thought they were. He was carrying them to mediocrity every year. They're a garbage team.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah.
They beat the Ravens. It's pretty funny, too, because of him.
What value, if say you're sitting atop whatever league you're in, and there's a guy at the bottom who's got him, what value is that? Like, what can you trade?
That manager must be so bad if he's at the bottom with Derrick Henry. What would you what would you give up? Friends, what you're saying?
Yeah.
Send him Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. You'd have to give up a lot.
With IU.
You'd have to give up like a top 20 wide receiver and a top 10 running back.
And the league still wouldn't freak out and call it collusion.
Like you giving Justin Jefferson for Derrick Henry?
No, because they're going to take from Matthew Stafford.
That is. I saw that tweet. There's no way that happens. That's such a load of crap. That means
So Cup's going to the Chiefs. You weren't here for that part. But.
I've heard that they're going to trade Cub.
Tweet. What are you talking about?
Dude, all I've heard is that his dog, that's the guy's name.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but terrible things about him. They're like, my boys are like, dude, just block his account because he has terrible things. How would they trade for Stafford?
I think Cooper Cup will get traded. Matthew Stafford.
They have to get Darnold back.
Yeah.
The Rams would have to think that Darnold is.
That was the whole report. The Rams want Darnold and the Vikings want Stafford to train or to like be a mentor to McCarthy.
So if you are trying to target Derrick Henry,
Sure.
I'm trying to think of names. If you have Kamara, you go Kamara, and if DK Metcalf is healthy, something like that.
Yeah.
That's the tiers that you're looking at. You go to that bottom guy, be like, look, dude, if something happens to Henry, you're totally screwed. You need to. You got to diversify a little bit. This isn't working for you. You're 1-6, and somehow 1-6 with Henry. But that can totally happen. You need to go look at the bottom 2 or 3 teams on your leagues. They may be totally checked out. You may be able to send decent offers, go for their best players, go for a 2-for-1, try to land their studs in. Because they may be wanting to change that as well.
We have a big we have a big cut list. We have a big pickup list. The guy I see in both of those is Christian Watson. Is he a cut guy at this point? Is he not a guy who's going to produce fantasy-wise?
It just depends on who you're going to pick up for. If you can get Jawan Jennings, I'm cutting him 100%. If you can get Ricky Pearsall, I guess I'd probably give Pearsall for that. But like,
I'd go for Rashad Bateman for the Baltimore Ravens. He's been good the last 3 of the last 4 weeks. I would drop him for drop Christian Watson for him.
Drop Watson for any of the wide receivers? No, like Shepard, Palmer, or McMillan.
Depends how much you're tired of Christian Watson. I'd probably hold it. It's a much better offense, especially with the top weapons out.
If Christian Watson is like your number 1 or number 2, you're probably in really bad shape. But if he's your number 3 or 4, I think it's okay to hang on to him.
He's got the upside.
If he's your number 1, you're going to sign out of the league.
Yeah, hopefully you have Derrick Henry.
You probably.
If I'm still rolling the dice with any Packers wide receiver because Jordan Love is putting up so much yards and points.
He's turning the ball over. Yeah,
it's
gonna be a high scoring game every
Turn
time.
the ball over so the other team can keep up.
Yeah,
he's the James Winston from 2019 with a 30-30 season. So Winston, that's love.
Yesterday I called him bright skinned Brett Favre.
Not so bad.
Yeah,
Drop Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Bench
Although
Patrick
you
Mahomes.
cannot start him every week. There's very
Okay, well, if you can't start someone, you have to be like, okay, you have to entertain it. Give me another name.
Baker.
No.
No. Before this week, yes.
Russell Wilson?
Dude,
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
What? It's his only week.
So the thing is, if you're gonna be picking up someone from waiver to replace Mahomes, it's got to be. I mean, there's very few good quarterbacks available. Drake May, maybe he's running the ball.
I mean, I'd rather have a guy like Jared Goff over Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yeah, but Goff's probably owned. Like Dak Prescott, absolutely not keeping Mahomes because Dak Prescott's been dropped a lot. Geno Smith, I probably think Darnold, taking Darnold over Mahomes.
I haven't looked at Darnold's last two.
Will get picked up again after the bye week is over now. Like he had to go during the bye week.
Yeah.
Still a dude who's going to be chasing in the fourth quarter and passing the ball. Like that, he's a dude who's going to produce. Patrick Mahomes is about to go 17-0 and be the worst fantasy quarterback ever.
So Mahomes will not be a good fan. Oh, he's been way worse than I thought.
I was going to retake on the.
I would drop Mahomes. So I was thinking about this on the way over here about how my fiance's going to kill me, but how he's been really bad.
Sure.
Really bad.
He's really bad.
And he's honestly being exposed a little bit the fact that Kelsey's older and Tyreek Hill's not there.
And no longer is right.
He has Rashee Rice who's not there. If they trade for Cup, he's going to be nuclear again. So
when we get back from the break, we continue from Duke City Cages. We have a lot of fun out here today. We're going to talk the world of the NBA coming up after the break. College basketball is right around the corner. There's just so much going on in sports. None of it more important than the World Series, which starts this Friday, which we will preview as well. The Gay Boys are with us. We're talking fantasy football. It's tuning on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Dude, I want to.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We're live at Duke City Cages, and there's no baseball till Friday, so we're playing Prize Picks. Promo code KNML, match up to $100 on your initial deposit. And the NBA starts tonight, boys. We're going to do a little NBA Prize Picks. The gay boys are with us, Simon and Jared. I guess also qualifying for that is Van.
Technically, there's that one time in college, you know.
You talking about your hot Jared summer?
Yeah.
Nice. I got a lineup for tonight. Prize Picks is doing that 0.5 Anthony Edwards. So if Ant goes over 0.5 points tonight, even one basket, he is an automatic winner. And then I took the Goblin, the Demon. I took the Demon on Austin Reeves, more than 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Just a little twofer to start off the year.
Just giving money away.
Yeah, I'm just going to grease it a little bit. I think Austin is going to be a guy tonight. Also, I'm into the resurgence of white players in the NBA. This is a new cool thing, and I love it.
A resurgence?
Yes.
Of American whites or like European
American.
whites? Okay.
Well, Cooper Flag, I think
All
he's
four of them.
Cooper Flag's got it handled for sure.
Is he Canadian?
I
don't think
is
so.
Flag a Canadian last name?
He's blue-blooded now. No, he's
It's
American.
got two G's.
He
It's got to
practiced-
be something.
He practiced with Team USA.
Well, yeah, but like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
these guys go and play for like 9 different countries if they're like 1%
okay,
Puerto
sure.
Rican.
He played for Team
Excellent
USA.
point. Yeah,
He's from Newport.
Cameroonian.
Whatever Anthony Davis's points rebounds is, I would take that over. It's the opening day. He has no injuries. He's healthy. That's when he plays his best.
You just jinxed him.
Points,
Yep.
rebounds, or
I
points, rebounds,
appreciate it. You
assists?
just sold my bet today.
What's his points rebounds?
I mean, he's not even on here. All
I think it was 37 and a
37
half.
37 flat.
Points and rebound. Oh,
I'm taking his rebounds
Yeah.
yeah.
because Gobert, I mean, say what you want. The dude can play defense. Maybe Davis gets him into foul trouble. But I think the rebounds is a slightly better play.
Yeah.
I also took Julius Randle accidentally in the same game. Rebounds and assists. I wasn't really thinking that much. But 11 and a half for a guy who easily can clear 10 boards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
I think that's a gimme. So I have that with Davis's rebounds and then the Anthony Edwards 0.5 points.
Jared thought he was still in the Knicks. That's why he bet on
No. Not true. I knew he was on the Wolves. By the way, I've completely flipped my opinion on that trade. Originally, I thought the Knicks got a steal. I think that was a ridiculous trade for Minnesota.
Sure.
Randall, DiVincenzo, and I believe they got draft capital too.
And they got draft picks.
Cat's not that guy.
I think
Sorry.
Cameron Payne will be good at the end of the year. I think it's gonna be slow for him to start, but I think he will get there. Jalen Brunson obviously is the whole thing. If you tell me Jalen Brunson can do this for a third, fourth year in a row,
Right.
I'll call you a liar.
Well,
But he's gonna
He's
do it.
going to play 48 minutes a night.
Isn't that wild?
Knicks are going to be good, man. Carl Anthony Towns, he's got a couple good years left in him. They're in their window.
Josh Hart, solid, pretty much does everything. He
Yeah.
had some splash games in the playoffs.
You guys,
Mitchell Robinson will play and get 12 rebounds and 2 points
I don't think that.
as soon as he's healthy.
Wish they had Hartenstein still.
What team is he on?
OKC.
Oh,
OKC's going to be.
Thunder and their
They're the 1 seed.
centers
You guys ever do those points combos? I really like those.
Yeah, those are fun.
of two
Yeah,
players.
those
Yeah.
are fun.
All right, I'm going to play one with you guys right now. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brunson, 54 points.
Oh,
Brunson
yeah.
will get that by himself.
Yeah.
What are you talking
See, but
about?
what can happen is Tatum can go out there and have 9 points.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Because I
Tatum
had
is
him in fantasy last year. He did that so many times.
All right, good
Yeah,
news.
he's really
They're
risky.
playing each other, right?
Update: Jalen Brunson and LeBron James, 53.5
Yep.
points.
I like the Tatum one
Jalen
more.
Brunson will get that by himself.
Yeah, that's a lower line.
All right, I got
I've
it.
heard that somewhere.
All right, Jalen Brown and Julius Randle, the super low, 42.5.
I like that more than the other ones.
You got to really trust Randall because I think Jalen Brown's good for 20. I don't know about Randall.
Randall averaged 20 last year.
And he's healthy
Yeah, but he's-
finally.
All right,
New team.
all right, let's get away from
42.
Julius.
Brunson could do that by himself.
Nice. Jalen Brown also has opportunity with Carl Anthony Towns, 45.5 points.
I like that one a little bit.
With Brunson.
I think they're gonna
Brown
they're
and
gonna
Cat.
feed Carl Anthony
Oh.
Towns because it's his
I don't-
first game.
I don't like Jalen Brown.
They want his first game to be big. I love more on Carl Anthony Towns.
Now-
He's going to be 7 for 7 from 3-point.
Jalen Brown's
that's
more
crazy.
reliable than
I'm just
Jason
kidding.
Tatum. It's for prize picks and like fantasy. Jaylen Brown, I think he's at least more consistent. Tatum is
he's only more consistent if he brought a girl to the game.
okay. Noted.
Who's this, Jordan Poole?
Basically.
I'm looking right here. Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards, 52.5.
I wouldn't do Tatum for the
I
same
would just
reason
avoid
Simon
Tatum
said.
points until you see him do it a few times.
Well, if you think Cat's going to go off, that's going to come at the expense of Brunson.
no.
Not
They
necessarily.
got to score 100
Yeah.
points. They can both score 50.
Strong.
2v5.
Yeah. Is there a points combined for Cat and Brunson for 99.5?
I think you have to have guys on.
I think that's
I think they have to be on different teams, and I realize you were kidding.
The Cat and Anthony Davis have a combined 46.5.
I like that less for some reason.
I like that one.
More or less.
More.
You like it more?
You
Yeah.
never go less on points, rebounds, assists. Every time I go less, I always lose.
Well, in the NBA,
Yes.
in the WNBA, you always go less.
You can't do less
Yes.
anymore.
Not on a whole card.
They're all red goblins.
They probably just blocked it only in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because we've been smashing it so hard.
Did you see that if you have a player on a 10-day or 2-day contract
In the NBA.
in the NBA, you can't take their under anymore?
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges, less than 14.5 points, seems to be a steal. He didn't hit that at all last season. At least the past 5
two,
games.
right?
Yeah, you got 13, 8, 11, 5, and 8, and his line's at 14.5.
I hate doing prize picks on guys that you have to explain who they are to the listener.
That's funny.
Only Rudy Gobert. That's the only one I care about. Like, what's he doing? So it looks like we're set here on prize picks for the night. So it's going to be a fun one. We're going to laugh at how bad or good we are at the NBA all year long. I'm also playing a season long where I took the unders on points for everyone. So I'm wanting failure. I'm wanting poor performance. I'm yearning for that.
It's typical Fred Slow fashion right there.
Let's get them.
You want to talk about Mahomes more? What are you going to say about Mahomes?
I do. Give me Bo Nix over Patrick Mahomes in fantasy.
Dude, that's
Give me
gnarly.
Bo Nix also plays the Panthers next week, so I'm big on that.
Weekly, not year-long.
Yeah, sit Mahomes, don't drop him. I would never own Pat Mahomes as a anti-Chief person, but Justin Herbert, I think, has outscored Mahomes in the last 2 weeks. Justin Herbert.
He's awful.
He's awful too. So don't play Mahomes. Pick up anybody. Pick up Marcus Mariota if Jane Daniels is out. Play Drake May. I'm all for that.
Just don't play Deshaun Watson.
It's kind of like legit weird hearing this out loud. Like, don't play Patrick Mahomes.
He will go down as probably top 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time. We're all
Sure.
good with that. 6 Super Bowls. He'll win one this year. And right now, he's not a top 10 quarterback in the league. It's
But
not close.
We will have in the future the conversation about how he changed his game for this team to win this one. All that verbiage will come out from talking heads about how he didn't care about the numbers and he only cared about the W's. And
and Jared and Simon, I want to
2024 Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and then they're going to go out and
made
draft Luther Burden.
sacrifices for the common good.
They're going to go
So I wanna
draft
ask
Luther
you-
Burden. They'll be nuts.
I want to ask you guys this. That play, Mahomes last week, and I see a lot on social media, everyone's complaining, saying how unfair it is. He pretended like he was going to go out of bounds. I don't see that at all. I think it was obvious he was intending to make the defenders miss. I don't think he was ever planning to go out. On the play where he made Warner miss with the ball fake, and then he hits the sideline, extends the ball out, hits another juke move. And they're trying to start a whole controversy like, oh, this is like a fake slide, and he pretended to go out. And I think the whole time he was just toying with the defense. I don't think he ever intended to go out of bounds.
Hard disagree.
I disagree, but for one, I think that linebackers should start hitting them as hard as they can on the sideline.
And taking the penalty?
No. It is not a penalty until they establish themselves out of bounds.
Sure.
If 1 foot is out of bounds, you can hit them as hard as you want.
Quarterbacks need to start getting smoked if they're going to do dumb stuff.
It needs to be like, you remember when Sean Taylor hit Mormon in the All-Star game, the punter, and just obliterated him? It needs to be like that on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like, just slide. Get down. No fake slides.
Yeah.
I think if there's anybody, Zay, to your point, if there's anyone to do some sketchy sliding stuff, it's probably Pat Mahomes.
I just feel like when he was heading towards the sideline, I feel like when you extend the ball out at the defender, that's like setting up.
You should get smoked.
For sure. But I feel like, you're on defense and, you guys play football as well. When you're on defense and your whole goal is to tackle the ball carrier and then he just holds the football out in front of your face like that, it's like, you got to be real disciplined for that to not throw off your approach to the guy because the football is just out there in front of your face.
Here's what's going to happen now is he's going to do that again, and he's going to get lit up. And since he's Patrick Mahomes, they're going to get a 15-yard penalty, and the guy's going to get ejected, and he's going to have a fine. And then people who do what we do are be like, oh, could you imagine the dirty hit on the sideline? That we don't allow that in this game anymore. That's dirty football. When Patrick Mahomes is legit asking for it with his antics from last time.
I think he broke their ankles. I feel like the whole time I feel like he was coming up to the sideline.
Have the ability to break people's ankles.
He does though.
He was slowing down for so long in that play, and then he stopped it and started running again. If you're slowing down as a quarterback, you have to go out of bounds.
The defenders obviously eased up and let him go out of bounds. Like, it was no question in my mind that they both took the very end of that play off to let Patrick Mahomes run out of bounds.
I don't know. I feel like when you watch Mahomes, he does that. He has that weird running style where he does slow down like that, and it makes it look like he should just be getting caught and hit, but he's just not. It is every time I watch him, that's how it looks. I feel like
it's because if they hit him, it's a flag.
That's a good
Zay
point.
is defending.
If they hit any quarterback, it's a flag. That's how it's been.
I think in his mind, I don't think he was ever meaning to make them think he was going out. I think he went to hit the sideline and see if he can make something happen. And I think that guy overran his angle. So he was like, oh, yeah, I'm hitting this move.
Dude, Zay, I mean, I've never seen you defend anyone like this who's not a Cowboy.
Dude, you beat me.
Is this Deuce Vaughn or Patrick Mahomes in here? I'm so confused.
Because I was watching it live and I thought it was a sick play. And then I go on social media and I roar, oh, this is unfair. I'm like, I think he just toyed with him.
Well, Isaiah is super onto something, though, because if he waited like 8 full seasons to pull this one out of the toolbox, like that's the long con there, Patrick.
Yeah, with
like,
a 2-touchdown lead.
Yep.
Over an injured team.
Yeah,
that's when you chose to do it?
Just wait till you fake spikes. Everyone's going to lose their mind.
Or a fake knee and then does something crazy.
Kenny Pickett slide.
It's going to be a fake knee at halftime to let the time run out, and he's going to throw a 45-yard bomb to
behind
Kelsey,
his
who's
back.
going to drop it.
A no look. Just chuck it over his head.
He's going to throw like a grenade.
It's like when you're a little kid and you're trying to hit a half quarter over your head. It's 2 hands, just as hard as you can throw it backwards.
What I can really see him doing is a fake throwaway. Like pretend he's going to throw it out of bounds and just dead ball it and then not. Maybe.
Pretend he's going to throw it out of bounds. Then dead ball it.
You ever watch Josh Allen run to the right sideline? He does that every time. Looks like he's going to chuck in the stands as a 50-yard bomb.
Yeah, just pump faking it out of bounds.
When we get back from the break, we continue from Duke City Cages. NBA starts tonight. Games tip off in like 5 minutes. It's like here. Like it's official. The NBA is back.
It's 15 minutes.
It's in 15 minutes. It's 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Duke City Cages. This is 2 Men On. Jared Gay is with us. You were late to the program because you were giving some lessons in the cage.
Yeah, if there's anybody, I'm one of the trainers here at Duke City. I'll be going into my 4th season of indie ball. So doing everything I can. These kids are working with a 10-year-old. Oh my gosh. I'm like, you're like what, 12 or 13? He goes, I just turned 10. I'm like, you are unreal. For me to like teach what I learned when I was in college and professionally, for a lot of these guys to have all those tools, it's
Sure.
I mean, you guys already know athletes now are more talented than ever.
Hard agree.
Do you have like a slogan? Like, is it like learn hacks from a hack?
Just hit bombs with the gay guy.
It's okay.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good. That's going to catch on.
A sentence.
That's going to
That
catch
wasn't
on.
the slogan.
Gay bombs?
Okay.
Okay.
Again.
The gayest bombs.
All right. Just as a guy also with a unique last name, like there's
Yeah,
ways-
last name's gay for new people.
Yeah,
that are
that's
listening.
you. Yeah,
First-time listeners, we're not bigots.
No,
That's his name.
no.
Well, Simon's kind of like just a little bit.
Yeah, we all got a little bit in
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
especially you, Van.
I just do it for the giggles.
Waiver wire pickup. So we're looking at the fantasy football, what you shoulds and what you shouldn't. Everyone should be looking for a wide receiver because statistically you lost one to injury this past week. All right,
Man.
boys, give it to me. Who are the go-gets?
My main guy, just the upside. Chances are you lost somebody who was producing for you. I like Rashad Bateman for the Ravens. Even when they're blowing people out and running the ball, I mean, he's had 4 catches in 3 straight and a touchdown in 3 of the last 5. Really just one bad week all year. He's gone 7, 7, 11, 3, 15, 11, 22. That's for a guy who's not owned 17% of leagues. I mean, why not? He's got upside. Shoot, all the numbers I just said are way better than Brandon Ayuk has been, or Mike Evans for a majority of the season. Evans had 2 big weeks, but Bateman's my guy, and I also like Tillman as well for the Browns.
Mike Evans forecasting to return after the bye week, November 24th, and that's against the New York Giants.
I was going to mention Tillman as well. First game without Cooper, 12 targets, 8 catches, 81 yards. It's going to be solid. It really depends on if Jameis Winston plays. I think if Dorian Thompson-Robinson plays, he will be limited upside. But if Jameis Winston plays, he has potential to put up 18 points every week.
Who you guys like of the Niner wide receivers who are still alive?
It's Juwan Jennings.
Juwan?
I mean, he went nuts when I think Debo missed week 3.
Yeah.
Somebody missed week 3, and he put up 11 catches, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's 46 fantasy points. So
I think they're going to feed Ricky Pearsall too.
I do too.
Because not just because he's a talented guy. They used a first-round pick on him.
Yeah.
But the whole story, like a guy who gets shot stopping a robbery and then comes back onto the field
No.
like 6 weeks later, like that's wild.
He was getting robbed.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, there's a good chance Jennings is owned. All of our listeners are in super competitive leagues, so I'm good with Pearsall. I'm good taking the shot. I'm avoiding pretty much all Buccaneers wide receivers. I think if it's Tillman, probably slightly above Bateman, just because of the volume. But Tillman, Bateman, and then I'm good. I'm good taking a shot on the Pearsall. I like it.
I do think if you really, really need a wide receiver, that you could pick up Sterling Shepard and Jalen McMillan, but don't expect anything from them because they're probably not going to be very good.
It's super barren for a lot of teams right now with the injury bug at wide receiver. So, like, anything's an upgrade. Give me a guy that could just have an explosion. Give me a guy, if you're trying to wait out a week on an injury, give me a guy that, and I don't know who, is it Goodson, is it Otten? Give me a guy that could go out there and catch a bunch of passes.
Talking about just for this next week?
Yeah.
It's probably Tillman.
Yeah.
Because Jameis is probably going to play because DTR had hurt his tendon in his middle finger on his throwing hand, so he's probably not going to play. So I would say probably Tillman.
So I would take that advice, and then if you're in a maybe a game under 500 kind of position, I say go get Jameis too. Go all in, like double.
Go
up
for
on
the
it.
stack. I
That's
love
what
that.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
He's
Like,
going to
what-
sling it no
Just
matter what.
Don't have a heart attack when he throws a pick on his first drive.
Hey, where were you with that Tillman advice last week? I had a huge Band-Aid. I had a huge Band-Aid in one of my leagues, and I was the fool that picked up Jerry Jeudy as a 1 week rental, and he put up an absolute stinker.
You realize Tillman hasn't had a target since week 3? I mean, they traded Cooper, and now he's going to play. He's 6'3", 215, so he's basically Amari Cooper. And they're going to play. I mean, they drafted him in the 3rd round, I believe, last year. So
I also like Troy Franklin for the Denver Broncos.
Sure.
Double-digit points last 2 weeks. Whispers that Cortland Sutton gets traded, and Sean Payton came out last week and said, we're going to see what the young guys got. Franklin was a teammate of Bo Nix last year at Oregon. Franklin's a burner, 4.4 speed, great college numbers, and playing with his college quarterback.
also, if you need a tight end, keep an eye on Hunter Henry and Cade Otton if they're available. Both of them have been good. Cade Otton will be very good with Godwin and Evans gone.
Everyone out.
Yeah.
I'm also okay with Will Dissly as well. Heavily involved, playing more snaps the last 2 weeks for the Los Angeles Chargers. So good week for tight ends, brutal for running backs. Alexander Madison. I mean, Dearness Johnson for the Jaguars. It's tough out there.
Another guy that might go unclaimed is Cedric Wilson for the Saints. You got to keep an eye on. I know Olave missed, but he had 6 targets, 57 yards, and a touchdown, so it's worth an ad.
You dropping Patrick Mahomes for Rashad Bateman or Cedric Tillman?
And that depends on who your other quarterback is.
Let's pick up Drake May.
Is it the
You're gonna
reason?
drop Mahomes to pick up May and Tillman?
Let's just say, yeah, your other option is Drake May, but you can pick someone else up. You can pick up that receiver. You drop it. Just trying to. People are going to have Pat Mahomes on their teams. Do you like it? Are you just keeping him? You grabbing Cade Otton for Patrick Mahomes? Say you have a second quarterback who's decent.
Probably. I'd pick up Otton. I mean, their schedule going forward is pretty rough. They got the Raiders. Defense is okay. Buccaneers defense is bad. So that'll be good. But then they play Denver, Buffalo, Carolina, which is going to kill.
Was yesterday the resurgence of Mark Andrews, or did him becoming the all-time leader in receiving touchdowns for Baltimore be the last milestone he wanted, and he's packing it in?
I'm still so scared to start him. When the guy goes 0 multiple times, but, tight end's tough. Kind of like when we were saying hang on to Pitts, hang on to Andrews. We never said to drop him. You're probably letting it rip. They're scoring points. Their defense seems like hit or miss. So, yeah, I'm probably playing them now.
They're playing
Mark Andrews seems like the meathead type to me that's going to play hurt. If he's good enough to go, he's going to go.
Yep.
This is probably the first game we're seeing where he's like healthy enough to be a playmaker.
They play 3 really good defenses the next 4 weeks. They play Cleveland, Denver, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. I think people were expecting too much from him at the beginning. He had the same injury Tony Pollard had, but I think Andrews was worse. It took Tony Pollard 12 weeks to be good at football again. So I think Andrews is finally healthy. His ankle's probably loosened up a little bit. So
yeah, Pollard was really bad last year.
It's going to be the same thing with Godwin next year. Everyone's going to expect him to be a beast again. It's going to take him 6 or 7 weeks to get good.
The stat I saw that blew me away today was through 7 weeks, the Dolphins had scored 70 points. You may remember they scored 70 points against the Broncos in one game last year. Is there any offensive options down there in Miami to play?
100% because Tua is back.
Tua's going to play this
I
week.
believe he practiced today.
Yep.
For how long?
And he's not wearing a Guardian cap.
So it's going to be one good week for Tua.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's going to score 36 points.
H.M. will score 20-something. I'm so terrified. Tua's going to get another concussion, and it's going to be even uglier.
Yeah.
And we're having the same conversation. He's going to say, I'm going to keep trying to play. This is 4 concussions in 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean,
so.
man.
Four that they admitted to.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's had a constant concussion for the last 5 years.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened with Jordan Reed, the tight end from the used to be Redskins. He had like 8 concussions in 8 years, and they made him retire. So,
and that was back when you just played through anything.
Yeah. If Tua keeps it up, he's going to be done.
The same thing happened to that cat in Seattle, Jeremy Stevens. Like his brain just went to mush too. Like it's tough.
Antonio Brown got hit once, and which was probably worse than any Tua hits, but the brain's probably affected about the same. And that dude is just a nightmare. He's a disaster from a personality standpoint.
Sure.
What is Tua going to be like in 5 to 10 years?
It seems like Tua's baseline, character and integrity and humility, his kind of personality is nice and reasonable and sweet and wholesome. Antonio Brown was kind of like a garbage person before too. So it's garbage person then exacerbated by CTE.
I'm talking to the
Two is
morality
like-
police,
yeah,
so I should have
exactly.
addressed this to somebody
Yeah.
else.
A 2 is like a nice kid exacerbated by CTE.
That's fair.
So he'll probably just be like playing with Play-Doh at the park.
Holy.
Oh my god.
I'm not seeing Tua at a Trump rally. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Tua's brain is Play-Doh right now.
Yes, yes, it is.
That is correct. Simon, I know you said you got to go. Thank you so much for joining us, talking a little bit of fantasy football today. Jared, you hanging out or
Yep.
taking off? You're hanging out. We're talking NBA. Whenever we get back, it's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. And oh my God, Jared Gay is here. Jared, welcome.
Thank you.
Joel Embiid and Paul George are out for the opener tonight for the 76ers against the Bucks. Their season is over, it looks like.
Is that tomorrow or tonight?
It's Wednesday.
Okay, so tomorrow.
Tough for them. If you're in Philadelphia, you should be hyped for your team.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a good team this year.
Yeah.
So very early. Do not rush it. Also, these guys should not have played in the Olympics. They should have tried to get healthy for the year.
So Maxi's going to put up the ball 50 times a game.
How many games over under do you think Embiid plays?
Well, he's
Let's say he's remotely healthy and he doesn't just like blow a knee.
Oh, he was my second round pick in your fantasy league,
Yeah.
Jared. So hopefully like 68, 69.
Oh
maybe.
God, my line was 45.
Yeah. 55 and a half would probably be a good
Okay,
more or
I did
less.
just say not bearing injury. He'll sit 25 games.
He will sit back-to-backs at points.
And
He's
there, I
not- he
believe
won't
every
play
team
a
has
back-to-back all year.
every team has 15 back-to-backs. I believe. I think it's the highest ever.
Yeah.
He ain't playing any of
Oh,
Not
no.
good for basketball, by the way.
I communicated poorly on the radio. You thought I was saying he's going to sit out one of back-to-backs. He's going to
No, every
sit
single one.
out back-to-backs.
Oh, you mean both
He
games?
just 2 games in a row.
So there's 30.
Yeah, he's just going to call it. He goes, I don't know, boys. That's a lot. That's a lot for task old Joel. Basketball never went away with the Olympics. That's it.
It was so hype.
Yeah.
The momentum pouring into this season, wild.
And they almost blew it. Was it the Serbia game where they were down like 20?
Yeah, that was wild.
Could you imagine?
Well, and not to be the guy talking about preseason, because preseason, like, did LeBron James look old for the first time? Like, did LeBron James for the first time ever look like, did you just play basketball all last year and over the summer, and maybe your worldwide gallivanting and all your other endeavors are catching up to you, LeBron?
The Lakers are just
Disagree. LeBron's going 27-7 in his sleep.
no, like we were talking about with Simon. Simon took LeBron, I think, right before he took Embiid in the draft,
Correct.
and I know he plays a lot, but no, the Lakers. Do they even get into the playoffs? Do they make it? Do you think so, Zay? Where do you have them at? Like,
So a little fun fact. It may not appear so, but I'm just as big of a Laker guy as I am a Cowboy guy. So I want to make sure that there might be a little bit of bias going into it. But
noted.
I do think they'll make the playoffs. A big thing with the Lakers, and I don't want to put too much hope into the rookie, but a couple of days ago I had my little description on the live chat. I had it Connect 4. Dalton Connect. It was a preseason, so it wasn't too it didn't really break the news too much, but he had maybe one of the best preseason performances ever. And he scored like the last 20 points for the Lakers to put the game into overtime and win it. I think he's a big deal. I think when I look at him in college, he was a big deal at Tennessee. He's got the confidence, and whenever you talk to him, he's never looking at the fans, or he's not trying to, be a show off. He's like, look, I'm just here to ball. Like, even after the draft, they asked him, what are you thinking about? He's like, I just can't wait to get him to court. So I think he's a baller at heart. I think he'll be a good addition for them.
I'm going to bring up a thing real quick. The difficulty I have with rookies making a big impact in the NBA is this line: 21 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. I think that's the best rookie performance I've ever seen. And that stat line from a rookie couldn't carry that team to success. And that's Victor Wembanyama last year. Like, I was so apprehensive to put any amount of weight into a first-year dude. Although I love the idea he can be a contributor, you got to give me a South.
He wasn't even a lottery. I mean, he's not a lottery pick. I agree. I think was he top 10?
17.
Okay, I thought I was gonna say like 20.
He definitely fell though. He
was really good in college.
His team wouldn't even work out with the Lakers because they didn't think he was going to drop that far.
Yeah, he's a very good. And the difference between Wemby and them is, I think, well, number one, I think Wemby has to do a lot more, and I think you're looking for more out of Wemby than what we're looking out of Connect. If he's driving to the bucket and he's getting and ones like he was doing in the preseason games, that's a bonus. All we really need him to do is, because we're a LeBron James team, we just need him to be able to make big shots. If he can just post up, make smart plays, and make big shots. I think he's a piece that the Lakers need. But if we're leaning on Dalton Connect the same way we were having to lean on Austin Reeves, we're in trouble. That's not going to be a good thing.
Wembanyama's not the best comp for rookie impact.
Sure.
Because he was on limited minutes. He didn't play a full game all year. Like, they're going to unleash him this year, and he's going to dominate the NBA. But he was playing like 28 minutes a game. He was barely playing more than half a game last year and putting up, 20, 10.
And 10
blocks.
assists.
Yeah, 10 blocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Connect's got a shot, man.
Insane this year.
So I'm looking at it, and now I forgot that it was 10-team playoff. I stick in my head it's always 8. Like, Zay, where do you think the Lakers can finish? Because they are not going to be top 6. They might get the play-in. So do you have them at 6?
Yeah, maybe play. No, I don't think they'll be 6. I could see them being between 7 and 10 playing game, but I think they're going to get that 8. They're going to get that 8 spot.
The West is so good. I mean, they're probably better. I think they'll be better than the Clippers. They should be better than the Warriors, the Jazz, the Blazers. So that would put them at 11. Should be better than the Rockets and the Spurs. Okay, so I could see, but then the West is so stacked. Like the 6 teams, top 7 are so good.
The top 4, 5 will chew up the rest of them.
Sure.
They're going to have really inflated wins at the top 4 or 5. And then after that, it's going to be a lot of people sneaking in around the 500 mark. And at the very bottom, it will be confusing.
Yeah, and it may come to a shocker, but for some reason, Anthony Davis last year, I think he hit the 70s for amount of games played, and no one had him playing into the 70s for amount of games played. And I think he's entering a new stage of his career where he's tired of being looked at as a soft guy. And I do think that for a second year, he's going to make a point to try to be available. And if he can play 70 games, if AD and LeBron can both hit the 70-game mark, I think that they're good for the 7th or 8th spot.
Give me a realistic expectation on Dalton Kincaid points, rebounds, assists.
Dalton Connect, like on his average, I think he'll average double digits, maybe 12.
Okay.
I think he'll average 12 points.
That's reasonable.
He can get to 20 points, rebounds, assists, Fred.
If he averages 20, that'd be rookie of the year.
Well, the points, rebounds, assists. So,
so
like 12, 5, and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that.
I was going to say, if he's averaging 20,
12.
he's balling.
Exactly.
Okay,
He could.
So coming around a 20-something in the stat book, points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty slow start for that. But, no, I mean, very talented. Wasn't supposed to fall that far.
He can hit shots, and LeBron's going to find him. And I don't think he's one of those guys where I think because of his mindset, he's not scared to take the big shot. I think him taking a shot for the game is the same as him taking a shot in the first quarter.
I don't think Davis plays over 70 games.
Ooh,
I have a hard time seeing. So I believe I should check this. Every team has 15 back-to-backs. He's going to sit every single one of those games. So that takes him down to 74, 75 games. He'll miss games for injury, but I'm not a huge Davis believer. So,
but there's more incentive to even if you limit minutes, there's more incentive to play your studs so they can get all NBA qualification, award qualifications.
MVP, right,
Because, I mean, if it didn't matter, if they weren't trying to limit as a league, they weren't trying to limit load management, then I would agree with you. But he's going to play some of those back-to-backs, and he's going to play minutes when he should be taking the day off just to qualify for all these league awards.
Yeah, and he played 76 games last year, which was shocking. Now, if he wasn't able to do that 2 seasons in a row, I would not be shocked. But I think he did that. I think that was a mental thing for him. And he said before this season that he was going to put it on his shoulders to try to be available for his team more, and he was.
When he plays more than 60 games, he is an all-star. When he doesn't, he is not. The one exception being 18-19, he played almost 60 games. So, I mean, those numbers kind of speak true. I tell you what, though, I think you're going to find from that center position very few guys that would take him over some other center options. And I think that might keep the Lakers from being worried about if he's in conversation for awards or whatever, because I think they're going to go to other guys literally at that position. So, he's a dude who can go, but if he plays 75 games and plays really, really well, the Lakers are going to do really well.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's not going to play center for 75 games. He hates playing center as it is. He doesn't like having to, be down there and be physical. So if he has it his way, then they will go out and get another big man. But if he's having to play the 5, then yeah, he's going to start taking a lot of games.
You're a little bit out of both sides of your mouth, though, because if you're saying he no longer wants to be received as soft, then it would be an attempt to play as close to the basket as possible.
Well, his body, his physical makeup doesn't allow him to stay down there and bang with the centers. He doesn't want to be soft as far as, oh, my ankle hurts, I'm missing the game. But as far as his play style, because he was a point guard in high school, he's still in his mind, he's always wanting to shoot jumpers, and his play style is soft. I'll give you that. I don't think he cares.
Sure, every big man also is a point guard. I know from experience.
They all want to shoot threes.
But I'll tell you this: if he's only not playing center in games against, I don't know, San Antonio, in games against Philadelphia, in games against Milwaukee, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Yes.
When we get back from the break, we wrap up the 5 o'clock hour talking the world of NBA. It's Tuning On live from Duke City Cages. There's about 1 million kids here right now. This is awesome. This is the coolest place. The sports animal.
This
always on the grind with some money on my mind, but I like it. But I like it. Yeah.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. We're live at Duke City Cages. It's been a banger of a day today, talking the world of sports, primarily the NBA, which just started, Van.
Yeah, baby.
You got scores updates? What's up?
It's going to be my favorite season of the NBA I've ever watched.
I get more into it every single year. I mean, playing fantasy basketball the last, 8 or 9 years. But no, it's currently a 21-16 Boston over the Knicks. So, no, it's gonna be a great season. I'm pumped. All the teams who weren't as good, like the Spurs, so excited for them. The Chris Paul effect literally gets every team above 500.
Yep.
And with Wemby is awesome.
That's a weird thing to be known for.
Yeah, and then,
just being really good,
and then losing in the playoffs.
Yeah. Also,
I think Wemby's going to have a monster season. I think he emerges year 2. They give him significant minutes. Now that he's got like a real point guard feeding him, like it's going to be a special season for Wembyama.
You know, don't crucify me here for this, but I think that by the end of this season, you know, kind of how we saw Jokic getting put into this top 20 list real early. I really think that by the end of this season, I mean, you'll be able to make an argument that he's top 20 all time.
Who?
Wemby, just off impact. There's like, I can't imagine there being 20. If he's even just 75% of what we expect him to be coming in his second year.
Like top 20 of this century or like all time?
Just impact, the ability. I mean, just he can do everything. If he does everything that he can do up to his ability, there's just no way. I mean, it should be 25.
I'm gonna crucify him.
Yeah, it could be 25-12. It could really be 25-12 with 7 blocks. I mean, like if it wasn't for guys like Shaq and Wilt, we'd be looking at him already as in that category.
I agree. I think it's coming. I think we're going to be talking about him. If he stays healthy, we'll be talking about him in a decade in GOAT conversations.
In 10 years.
Yeah. No, I mean,
no, you're talking about 20 all time in your second year.
Well,
like
just impact. Just impact.
Oh, you mean like bringing in fans of the game or talking about impact on the court?
No, like impact on the court, like overall, the bit like total. If there was like some type of, I think there probably is like efficiency rating or something.
Yeah.
So just overall.
Yeah, I'm a fan of your enthusiasm, but if I were to sit here and say to the 4 of us, the 3 of you guys, if I were to say the 20th best basketball player that I can simply think of right now off the top of my head is Julius Erving. I think he's the 20th best basketball player I can think of, and I can give you 19 guys who are better.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we go top 10 right now, all-time impact, I get what you're saying. Is Shaq in the top 10? Like that
impact, he's first.
Yeah, Pete Shaq is probably number 1.
Right, so that was just one. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So like my point is like we can argue who's in the top 10 all day.
Sure.
But then we're gonna get into like this crazy top 20 Kevin Durant. Like for Wemby to get there after this year is tough. But your comment, if he is 25% less, if he's 75% of what we expect, that will be incredibly disappointing, in my opinion.
Agree.
Well, no, I mean like so take like, well, not as far as like decreasing from the 100% being what he was last year. Like, you know how we look at a guy coming out of his rookie year, he's supposed to, like, if he just has that much improvement, like if he'll be better than last year for sure.
If he's averaging 22, 10, and 3. I'm pretty sure it's a replica of last year. I think that would be, if he does the same thing he did last year, that would be very disappointing.
I think he'll be at about 25, 12 rebounds, but the blocks is where I start saying that he'll be top 20 impact, because I think he's easily going to average 5 blocks a game.
The thing that's going to keep him from averaging 5 is people won't go at him like that.
Right.
Like you'll scheme away from it.
But it'd be so hard because he's so fast and his arms are so long. He can cover so much.
He has to play in the paint, though. They'll just start ripping threes.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And he extends, like, and you saw in the Olympics, when he plays against inferior talent that only knows going one way and only has one move and is not NBA caliber guy, yes, he's that thing. Against NBA talent, like, here's an example. We're 6 minutes into this opening game between the Celtics and the Knicks, and Jason Tatum already has 10 points. Like,
I knew he'd do something like that.
There's a bunch of studs out there in the NBA that can just do it all at any moment. Also, Jalen Brunson has 6, so he's averaging a point a minute.
Wembyama, for perspective, 21.4 points a game last year. 10.6 rebounds per game last year, 4 assists per game last year, a steal, and 3.5 blocks.
With how many minutes?
That is good for any professional basketball player. You're an all-star. You're getting MVP votes with those numbers. He did that in 29 minutes a game. That is stupid. 29 minutes a game, and you're a unanimous Rookie of the Year and number 2 Defensive Player of the Year.
And
in
he's
his first season.
He said the Olympics taught him a lot. He's been working with KD, and his ball handling is going to be way better.
And Chris Paul is his teammate. Talk smack all you want about Chris Paul and what he's done with his teams in the playoffs, but he's top 5 point guard of all time.
I did not see Victor Wembanyama on an all-star team.
He's going to be the high vote getter this year. So
was he on an all-star last year?
Nope.
In some of his highlight plays, are going to put him up there, even if the stats. He's going to. It's not like he's a Laker. I don't want to believe it, but I think it's like Wilt, Shaq, Wemby.
Bold praise from Zay. Well, I love it. Give me my number 1 overall draft pick in the league.
Well, if we're talking about rookie seasons, I think Wilt averaged like 40. So,
yeah,
different game.
Back when there was no 3-pointers, right?
Yeah, but playing against mailmen and meat packers, 40 plumbers.
Hey, 37 and 27.
That's crazy.
Wait, did he averaged 37 and 27 his rookie year?
MVP Rookie of the Year.
27
All-NBA,
boards?
Yeah.
Were there even backboards back then? It was just a basket.
I'll get off the bread basket, y'all. It's 2 minutes on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animals. back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On, where during the break, I started looking up the NBA schedule. Come make some games this year. That's my
Go to
plan.
some games,
Go to
man.
some games.
NBA games are fun.
They're super fun.
They're fun.
The last NBA game I went with you. It was the Lakers and someone.
Bucks.
The Bucks.
Yeah, and Giannis put it on the Lakers.
Yeah, beat up the Lakers.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
And then the next night, you took me to a Machine Gun Kelly concert.
Not on purpose. We had free tickets from our friends at Bud Light.
Sounds like it was intentional then.
Yeah. I didn't go see him on purpose. There is no way.
It was Machine Gun Kelly and Halsey.
Halsey.
And she wasn't that bad.
No, Halsey was fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of like MGK a little bit.
Because Machine Gun Kelly opened up for Halsey.
Yeah.
It made Halsey look so good.
So not MGK fans, either of you?
No.
I kind of like some of his stuff.
There was the weirdest part of that was how many young adults were there doing costume changes mid-concert for Instagram, social media cred.
That was very weird.
That was I
That
never
was very
really
weird.
seen that in person.
Yeah, that was super weird.
But they were doing like concert life, and then they would change and do like a concert life, and you know they were going to stagger these releases.
Oh, yeah.
It was super weird.
People are just dumb. Social media is crap.
I don't.
It's toxic, man.
What is the
It's
shine
toxic.
off that? I don't know what the shine is there.
Getting
A lot of
millions
people think it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
People assume that it's real life. People are like this all the time.
Yeah, when they say,
No,
like,
not.
you see pictures of people and their lives on social media, they're not that happy. That is so true.
Sure.
Don't believe just I hate it.
TNT cut to commercial break while the Celtics were in the middle of raising their title banner tonight.
God, that's funny.
Did they win last year? I already forgot. I hate this. I don't like that. I'm not a Celtics guy. They're up 43-24 in the first quarter.
They're very good.
The East is awful as well, so they'll probably win. They'll be right in the championship again.
It just kind of speaks to how ad-loaded and terrible sports broadcasts have become since these TV deals have gotten so ridiculous. It's hard to stomach. Also, I wouldn't know how to gamble on sports if this didn't exist. So,
Very, very helpful.
Basketball's that's where I bet. That's where I'm pretty successful. Terrible at football.
This thumping is brought to you by 3-pointers. The Celtics are 10 of 17 from 3 already.
Buckets.
Dude. Lights out. Tatum 4 of 6 on his own.
The thing with especially for like betting basketball, it's easier once the season gets going a little bit because you can kind of get a feel on like hot streaks and cold streaks. You don't know like how someone's been the first game of the year. Maybe their teammates know, like, yeah, he's been on all week.
No,
But-
for first month for basketball is where you really cash in. The lines are ridiculous. I remember Halliburton was so good for the first couple of months. Got hurt, came back, and you could hammer his under for about a month straight on anything, and he just didn't do anything.
Nice.
So it's very trendy. It's pretty easy to pick up compared to like football, where it's matchups and you get schemed out and you miss your bet.
my final thought on this cutaway from the anthem. This is TNT's final broadcast season for the NBA,
Yeah.
and they are going to milk it money-wise. TNT is going to sell any commercial to anyone with a reasonable offer, and it's going to become
Yeah.
a NASCAR, like the entire thing.
They're going to be selling commercials to narco traficantes in Mexico just to squeeze out a couple bucks at the very end.
Tatum's got 15. See, this is why he's so unpredictable. It's like you never want to take the less on him, and you never want to take the more on him.
Did you guys forget about last year when he got cheated out of the finals MVP due to his own play and then made all these outlandish, like, not catchable catchphrases
Yeah.
and then sat around embarrassed all summer, literally on the bench of the Olympic team? You're going to tell me
Yeah.
you've never seen a dude more motivated to make everyone shut up?
That's why I thought Jaylen Brown was going to have a solid game. That's why I was really wanting to go. I don't know exactly how he's doing. He could be doing good.
He's
But-
got like 5 points.
Okay.
Not
For
good.
his first quarter.
Not good compared to Jason.
Yeah. MVP. League leader in points.
Tatum he'll really go 9, like just like Simon said. He'll score 9 one game, and then the next game score 42.
Well, they play team basketball in Boston. It's not just the Jason Tatum show.
Yeah, it's the hot hand. So if he's hot, he's going to have a good game.
It kind of makes it impossible to truly get the recognition that he probably deserves. He averaged 27 last year because there's so many guys who contribute. Lakers win. It's LeBron. It's AD. It's it. There's no other. You can be like, I mean, didn't Drew Holiday have like a ridiculous maybe conference finals?
Yeah.
And it's just like he got all the fame, and then Jaylen Brown was the MVP, right?
Yeah.
By the way, not deserved, but it's tough on that team. But you kind of just have to take that. Be like, we're gonna win another championship. You just don't quite get the credit. You
Hot hand alert! Hot hand alert! Hot hand alert! 8 Celtics have scored. That's so many players in one quarter of basketball.
Well, some teams don't score 40 and a half, and they did it in the first quarter.
Every Celtics player except for Tillman has a positive plus minus. Everyone's going off in game one.
The Knicks might look like a team, or if you shut down Brunson, you've shut down the entire team.
Do you think that's why they went for Karl Anthony Towns? Just hoping that, like, because I think Randall can score just about the same, but Cat can kind of do it by himself. I guess that's probably why they made that.
Yeah, and also Randall is he gets a little bullheaded. Sometimes he makes his mind up that he's going to shoot long before he gets his shot off. So it's like it gets to a point where the play's dead. And, Randall's not going to pass out of this. And I think Cat is more point guard friendly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So I think you bring Cat in, you're hoping that he can extend and prolong Jalen Brunson's career, and he can keep going on the upward projection.
More NBA tips off throughout the course of the night. We're watching, I think, really just the Lakers is the only game we care about, right? Like Bronny, LeBron.
You think Bronny plays?
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Give me a minute. How many minutes?
Oh, God, 6 maybe?
I was going to say 4.
How many times can you click the shutter on your camera? Like, because that's all they need them out there. Like, you go out there, you put the 360 camera on them when they go to center court. You do the whatever graphic they're going to put up on the scoreboard in the house. It's good. First time in NBA history, a father-son duo. You play that song by Will Smith. Like you do the whole thing. What's it?
Not anymore. You're not going to play the song by Will Smith.
Whoever he covered.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. Is that a Michael McDonald song?
Bill Withers.
Bill Withers.
Boom.
God.
Some of these polls you guys have with names, I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with, Jared.
It didn't translate to quiz night on Sunday.
No,
Sick invite, boys.
We did poorly. Quiz night.
Last minute.
Well, how serious did you take it? That's the real question.
Oh, God, super close to 0.
Yeah. Every question that had a number as an answer, we wrote 69. So we weren't those guys.
Nope.
So you guys talk a big game, but you're like, how much did you care? Not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Same thing you sent a text about basketball last night.
Yeah.
You're like, boys, can we not make it X amount of dollars because I'm going to lose interest midseason? I'm like, Van, it hasn't even tipped off game 1 yet, and you're already warning us that you're going to lose interest halfway through.
Get burned out.
You have to change your lineup every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
But you can set it in advance, though.
Yeah, you set it a few days in advance. But if they get a late scratch or whatever, you're not going to know.
And it sucks because if you have a guy in an 8 p.m. game and you once the first game starts at like 5, any move you make is effective the next day. So guys get ruled out late, and you're like, shoot, it sucks. But no, that's why it's a very small league. I think we did 8 teams. And you just get people who can most likely check it for a minute each day.
Every team is loaded.
Pull up your team real quick.
Okay.
Is Dalton Connect on a team?
No.
Oh, no. He's not going to play
The
significant
8-team league made it kind of shallow. Like there's some pretty good free agents out there.
Throw me in. I'll just take a waiver wire team.
Dude, that would be awesome.
He'll be give Connect. I tell you what, by Thanksgiving, he'll be a solidified no lower than 4th option.
All right,
Dude,
Isaiah.
I think I'm with you, Zay. I think Connect is going to be like a legit NBA player in his
he'll be better
year.
than Reeves. He'll be better than Reeves.
You beat me to it. I think he will. And maybe it's just going to take like a month, and he's going to steal Reeves's job.
I agree. And I like the idea that Isaiah has enthusiasm for this kid because there's no reason he should. So I would like to add this daily to the program. So obviously your Cowboys have been cheeks. There's no reason to talk about them.
The Connect corner.
The Connect corner is fire. So get ready for your daily Dalton Connect talk as he's going to get the shine right here on this program.
Oh yeah,
He shot 40% from three his last year in college. I mean, JJ Redick is his coach. He is JJ Redick.
he's wearing his number.
JJ Redick's going to run him into the ground.
Yeah, Redick. It was a Redick pick. You know, Redick liked him. He says that he grew up watching JJ Redick. He says him and his coach in film, they'd watch JJ Redick film to learn for different ways for him to get open. And just again, if you guys get the chance, if you see the preseason game when he scores 20 of the last, you should, especially if you're thinking about drafting him. The last 20 points he scores, but he wasn't really fazed by it. He had a swagger to him, like he wasn't surprised, or he's like, yeah, my practice is finally showing up. And no more than a month, but I wouldn't be shocked if he had 20 tonight.
Also, to be really clear here about first-year head coach JJ Redick, who is not the first pick for head coach and is only there because LeBron James is there. Rob Pelinka picked this kid.
Yeah.
JJ Redick is not pulling the strings on the draft. Like the Lakers have this figured out from an organization standpoint.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Sure.
They said they came out and said it was JJ Redick's.
Mm-hmm.
That was his guy. That was his guy. It's the guy he liked.
I wonder if they would say that about
anybody they picked. I was just about to say that. And by the way, over under 1.5 times when we talked about Dalton Connect, that Fred calls him Dalton Kincaid because he's already done it today.
Well, the Lakers released their draft board, and Connect was like, he was up there at the top.
I would do that too. I'd move stickers around after I drafted him. Yeah, he's right above Wemby on their rankings.
Well, it was permanent marker, and I would know because I was there.
Impact player.
Well, I was there, and it was permanent marker.
Isaiah was like, I was in the draft room. I wrote his name, guys. Trust me.
It's in my handwriting.
Yeah, that's how big of a deal he was at Temple. Is that close?
Tennessee, yeah.
Oh,
wow, that was a guess?
Yeah.
That was unreal.
I was trying to pick a college that would feature a white guy.
Tennessee is right there.
She said Duke.
That's where JJ went.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
JJ did pick him.
I was going
now it's all tied.
I bet LeBron had a bigger impact in picking them than JJ did.
What was Dalton's final season stats at Duke?
Tennessee.
Oh, it's still not the same then. Okay, my bad. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, live from the Duke City cages where there is now a line. There's now a line. There are so many kids here learning to play baseball.
Got one single solitary cage open if you rush down here, guys.
Hey, do you ever just get in the cage, Jared, and just make that noise that you make with the bat and turn heads?
So I will, as soon as we're done at 7, I'm going to hop in a cage and start hitting. Yeah, absolutely.
And all the kids go, ooh.
Yeah, most people come over. They're like, dude, are you the guy? They'll be like, you from Home Run Derby? I'm like, yeah, that's me, man. Yeah. They'll also be like, they're like, who do you play for? They're like, I'm like, not the Yankees, okay? I'm sorry.
Is it weird, too, that you're wearing your Home Run Derby jersey, like, every day?
Shut up. I'm not wearing it. Folks, don't think for a second that I wear this jersey. I need a frame that think it's sick, though. But I love it. No, there's about 5 kids in here who think I play for the Isotopes.
And you haven't corrected them.
Nope. He goes, you were on the Mariachis, right? I'm like, yep. He was not playing for them again this year. I'm like, no, unfortunately not.
No, when you have a chance to do something like that, you do it. I'll never forget. I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Chicago, and I had an Alabama visor. But my jacket I was wearing was an all white jacket, and I was walking through the crowds, and everyone, do you play for Alabama? At first, I was saying no. And I thought, I'm going to go with this thing. So I started saying, yeah. And then one guy got me. He goes, oh, really? What dorms you live in? Because I go there.
You could pull off a Jalen Milrose, for sure.
Well, this was back in 2018. What dorms do you live in? The football ones. What's the football players live in?
Is there some frat guy? He goes, yo, I'm Kappa Sig. What's up, dude? I know who you are.
Yeah, I go there too. What dorms you in? I didn't expect this one.
I very much appreciate that Isaiah's stolen valor is of an Alabama football player. For sure. There's a lot of rub you can get in Chicago, and I think I could have done better than Alabama football player.
Well, no, I had the Alabama hat on. So they said, this guy, you play for Alabama?
You should just say you live in an apartment or something. Come on, Zay, let's go, man.
I wouldn't expect to get hit with that. Yeah, off campus.
Next time.
I got an NIL deal from an apartment complex. Yeah. I actually have two. I have 2
You're
apartments.
like, I own the Holiday Inn down the road, okay?
Who are you to question me?
You might not have heard about this, but I stayed in Nick Saban's bathhouse. It's like awesome. It's out by the pool. That's how they do it there. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. Isaiah, during the break, some of these baseball kids came up and stole the Two Men On wrestling belt that's at our remotes. And now, now they're all taking pictures.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Kids are so funny. This little kid comes up and he goes, "Do you watch WWE? This is on WWE."
Yeah.
You know,
like same one.
Yeah, he's like a WWE historian. He doesn't just watch WWE. He lives WWE.
Don't you know I'm trying to recreate it on a budget here in District City?
Did you guys see the now the clip? I believe the audio is from WWE. I'm not a WWE guy.
Cool.
But they had the
what you're saying.
The Deshaun Watson being carted off the field, and they stitched the "You deserve it" over. I'm like, at first I'm like, that is so messed up. I'm like, but he kind of does.
Yeah, he 100% does.
I was in.
We led with that.
But that's from somebody's Hall of Fame speech, right? Is that correct?
It's like a can thing. They use it for all kinds of stuff. But I was in Florida a couple weekends ago doing stuff with the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, and Hobo Hank performs. Right, Hobo Hank goes out there and wrestles a guy, and the guy's character is like a, I don't know, like a gimp kind of thing. Yeah. So he's got this zipper over his mouth, right? So he undoes it, he shows his tongue, and it's weird or whatever. Well, Hobo Hank's finisher is the pit stop, where he takes your head and puts it into his armpit, and then wiggles your head around until you are incapacitated.
Right.
So whenever that weird villain goes down against Hobo Hank, the crowd goes, "You deserve it." Yeah. And they just hit him with it, and you go, "Oh, this is just fitting." It's pro wrestling chants and soccer chants. Like those two stand unique. They're very good.
Unless you're Trae Young in New York.
Did he get a bad one?
He gets F you, Trae. Very, very, very clear. The Knicks do not like Trae Young.
Where's your hairline?
Oh, that's a good one.
You seen Aaron Jones' hairline?
Oh. Is it going?
Oh, it's back.
It's going?
It's back. I'll find a picture of it.
Yeah, Trae Young in New York, it's underlying. It's one of those rivalries that's gonna be huge one day when you look back at it. I mean, he goes off every time in Madison Square Garden, and they hate him to the point where it's like, if there hadn't been so many debacles with fans getting involved with players in the past and then having all those outbreaks, it might be a fear. It's that bad with Trae in New York.
Trae Young averages 25. Yeah, I got it right here. 25, 3, and 9. So almost a double-double. Plays well against New York.
Yeah, and he sent them home in the playoffs a couple times.
There are some teams that really can do it against like certain opponents, and I think I'm a fan of that. Like if you take it so personally.
Yeah, I'd love the people who can feed off that energy. Like when you can go, when you're the face at home and you're the heel on the road, especially a place like Madison Square Garden, and you step up your game despite people just saying the worst things to you, saying the worst things about you and your family and your loved ones. Like if you can rise to the occasion in that environment, you're a special kind of competitor.
All right,
I hear Luka loves it.
I got some numbers here. Michael averaged 31, 5, and 4.
Okay, that's good.
Against the Knicks.
I mean,
he loves New York.
Let's see his numbers against everyone.
Who did 31, 5, and 4.
Yeah.
And 60
He did love New York, though. Yeah.
That's a whole season. It's a whole season of games against a team.
Yeah, right now, I think Trae going into New York, that might be the best example right now of a guy that just loves the stadium. I think right now, Trae New York is the biggest one. I can't think of anything else.
LeBron anywhere.
I do. There's like a conversation about Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, a lot
of people like going there.
Yeah.
And Trae's the new guy. I think it's like there's always a player at the time that loves New York the most.
Oh, I know what it is.
I think right now it's Trae.
It's Aaron Rodgers and the Bears.
Oh, filthy. So
yeah.
filthy.
Oh yeah. That's a great example. That's a little more violent. That's worse though. That might be the worst example. Other than him versus Dallas, the second, and Trae New York third.
I think that's it. I can't think of particular players who just tend to go off. Not like significantly. I feel like if you looked up like Luka versus the Clippers, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's up there.
I'm sure it's pretty whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
I feel like Jokic kind of tears somebody up as well.
He loves the Lakers, but I mean that's a little too cliche to point out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trey's numbers against like the Warriors were better too.
Let's see. I don't think there's anybody Steph loves. I can't think of anyone.
He likes beating the Heat.
Yeah.
I think he just likes beating LeBron.
Remember when Jeremy Lin just beat up on everyone for 5
Oh,
minutes?
you love it.
Like
That was
2 weeks.
amazing. I'm trying to get a baseball comparison. I mean, stand in the playoffs, but I mean,
Bob Gibson against white guys.
oh shit.
Like, what is the good baseball one? There's a team.
I mean, Jeter in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's
Like Altuve against the Yankees. Like he
Yeah.
always crushed
Yeah.
the Yankees.
In the biggest moments too.
I'm trying to think like a pitcher who shuts up. I mean, it's tough.
there's the exact opposite. Like Clayton Kershaw couldn't beat the St. Louis Cardinals to save his life.
Right.
You know, you can find those things, but that's the opposite of going off. That's turtling.
And also what I'm seeing here, and I'm looking at the stats. I mean, the Trey versus New York one that started in 2021. Before then, he wasn't doing that good against them, but also he plays for the Hawks, who have never been that good of a team. So it's kind of hard to look at win-loss. He's 5-14 versus the Knicks.
Tiger Woods on grass.
All right, I found a baseball list. This is not bad. This is we had
Tiger, Torrey Pines.
to go back to 2019 for someone to put an effort into a list this stupid. But I have found it. Give me all right. Trying to come up with a good team. All right, here's one. Bryce Harper against the St. Louis Cardinals has a OPS of over 1. So it's 1.048 OPS against St. Louis.
So for a perspective for people who don't know OPS, there's one player in baseball right now active who has a career OPS over 1,000. It's only Aaron Judge. So basically, Bryce Harper against the Cardinals is Aaron Judge.
All right, I
It's
guess
pretty filthy.
So I have one from 3 years ago. I'm on Reddit. I thought it was funny. Spencer Dinwiddie is
That's a reach.
91 Jordan every time he plays Philly.
Okay. Spencer Dinwiddie.
And all jokes aside, I mean, Rodgers in AT&T Stadium, Rodgers versus Dallas, period, is pretty bad.
he won a bunch of games for a lot of years.
Rafael Nadal on clay. He was almost undefeated in his whole career
Yeah,
at the French Open. Like you just penciling him for a win if he's on clay.
50 Cent versus haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
P. Diddy and
Undefeated.
Baby Oil.
Oh,
Sorry.
no,
No.
they caught an L. They just caught one.
PBJ. Right?
Terrence Ross, who most people don't know, bench player in the NBA, says he's good for 30, 0, and 0 every time he comes off the bench when the Magic play the Heat. Dude, there's whoever wrote this. That's a real vendetta against Terrence Ross.
I got one here. This is real numbers. Albert Pujols versus the Pirates, okay? 121 OPS, hitting 360, 50 homers in 177 games. This is unreal stuff.
He hit a homer every 3 games versus the Pirates. That's filthy.
Hey, once a series, you know what Albert Pujols is going to do to you?
Take it deep.
Yeah. Like, figure it out. Yeah, Ryan Braun used to beat up on the Phillies. There's a bunch of them.
Okay, and a little throwback to what kind of kicked off the convo, I got right here where the stats, where the chant "F you Trey" started in New York. It was when the Hawks beat the Knicks 4-1 in the playoffs. In Game 1, he had 32, 7, and 10. In Game 2, he had 30 and 7. In Game 3, he had 21 and 14. And in Game 4, he had 27 and 9. And then the last game, Game 5, he had 36 and 9. So yeah, that'll warrant you some FU trade chance.
Adam Wainwright against the Astros in his career is 13 and 1 with a 1.4 ERA in 122 innings.
Ugh. Ugh, that one hurt. That one too close to
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're an Astros fan.
Yeah.
That was just the best one I had on here.
Lawrence Taylor, never played a game at Washington where he didn't have a sack. Every single game in his career he played at Washington, he had at least a sack.
I bet the last game they're like, there it is, there's a sack.
Oh yeah,
because he played for the Giants, so he played them a lot. So he had a lot of chances to not get that sack.
From the texter, this is a good one. The Undertaker versus WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm still heartbroken over how it ended.
This one here from the texter, red or green, it doesn't matter. Chili versus Fred.
Nice. That's a good one.
I don't like that.
That's a good one.
That's rude. It's not a nice thing to say to me. When we get back from the break, it's more 2 Men On. We're at Duke City Cages, having a lot of fun tonight. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
like that.
Welcome back. Oh, sorry about that, Zay. I was over the top of you. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. I think it was 1998. 1998. This might not be accurate. It might have been 99. Kevin Garnett and Randy Moss were on the cover of ESPN the magazine, and it was like when ESPN the magazine was kind of starting to become a thing. ESPN2 had just showed up. It was all part of their push or whatever. So Anthony Edwards and Justin Jefferson reimagined that and put out their own version of that cover. It's cool. It's a fun thing. Those teams never won,
Right.
but cool that these guys are doing this. So it's fun, right? That's a fun crossover between sports. I really like when athletes in a city support the other sport.
Sure.
You see it in LA all the time. Dodgers players go to Lakers games. Lakers players go to Dodgers games. It's that whole thing. So then I'm starting to think, though, I'm like, boys, that's kind of a booty mashup. Like, these guys aren't going to win. Like they didn't win the first time they did the cover. Like, what is the best, time cities have had just face-offs or studs of two different sports? Like, what are those ones that jump out to you boys?
At the same time or
Same
just
time.
Yeah, same time. I mean, I think I got the best one, and it's Boston.
I was gonna say Boston. You have to go Brady.
Tom Brady and Big Papi at the same time. And no offense to friend of the show, Manny Ramirez, Jared's home run bomb dropping partner. David Ortiz was the heart of that team and the heart of the city at that time. Having Brady, all his success and all the Red Sox success, and David Ortiz being the most entertaining, biggest personality in baseball, that was wild at the same time.
What year did the Red Sox win the 04 and 10?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Did the Patriots win championships in 04 and 10?
In the same year?
Yeah.
No, but their eras lined up. That's
They
the
They
qualifier.
won 04. They definitely won 04.
I was going to
They
say
won
the
03 and 04.
Celtics. The Celtics won one of those years, right? Maybe the same year as the Patriots.
God, they were spoiled.
When was the
for a
big?
while,
when was the
dude.
big three? The original big three.
For the Celtics?
Yeah, wasn't it like?
That was in 07.
I was going to say 07. Okay.
So that's after for sure.
Well,
What about-
Brady won what? 01.
Well, he won so many, boys. That was
What
his
about-
thing.
What about Eli and the Yankees? Did they ever time up at the same time?
Did Eli win in 09?
So he won in 7
Yeah,
over the
I think he did.
Patriots. That was the perfect season gone astray or whatever.
Didn't he win 2 years later?
I think 09 was. I think they did win in 09, huh? Yeah, either them or the Saints.
So
I think it's the Saints in 09.
well, even if they did, is that you're going to put Eli and
It's
And
a reach.
he
It's a
did
reach.
not.
For
It was
sure.
2008, so it doesn't even count. But I mean, I guess you do calendar year if you want to get real lame about
I was
it.
thinking like Jeter and A-Rod, and then
Yeah, they're the same though.
the New York Giants.
There's an LA one.
I thought so.
In 2020, you could have had LeBron and Corey Seager.
Okay, I'm like a year off with this. Michael Jordan in late 90s,
Yeah,
Sammy Sosa.
Okay.
Sosa hit 60 jacks,
in 98.
98, and then 63 in 99, and then 64 in 01. That's a ridiculous streak. He had 50. He had over 50 in 4 straight because the other year was 50. And then Michael was on the Wizards in 01. So he was. Let me
So
get back to-
he won championships in
Yeah.
6, 7, and 8. And then 99 was whenever the Spurs arrived.
So Jordan in 97 to 98 was still averaging 28 points a game.
But I got one to pair with Jordan.
Yep.
That's not even a player. Jordan and Mike Ditka at the same time.
Because I was looking at Chicago. Were they at the same time?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
was Walter Payton?
Well,
He was before
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, in
Well,
Jordan,
I guess it's not before Jordan, but
yeah, Jordan got there in 84.
Yeah.
And then didn't really win anything until 91 because he had to
Right.
play Detroit all the time. And
Yeah, he needed teammates.
yeah,
okay. So here, I'm surprised you guys didn't. And maybe I missed it. It seems to be happening to me lately on the show. What about the Patriots and the Red Sox in 04? You had Brady and then Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez is a good one. Yeah, but Van did say
Yeah,
that.
that was my leadoff hitter. Welcome to the program, producers.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
So I guess if we're doing only if you won at the same time. So then really you try to figure out, like, is there one where you won 3?
Yeah.
Like, is there a year that, like, the Steelers, the Penguins, well, not the Pirates.
Yeah.
Is there a year that the, like, Dodgers and
I want to say the
Lakers-
Bruins won. Have the Bruins won the last? I feel like they won at the same time as.
In 2020, it was the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's just multiple as in 2. Okay, so that's only 2.
Didn't Brady won in 20?
Brady's Bucks.
Yeah, the
here.
Lightning and the Buccaneers. Yeah.
That's a
want to
good
find-
one. Like, if you count hockey,
Do you not count hockey?
usually I don't.
Name one player on that hockey team.
Steven Stamkos.
Sidney Crosby.
Is that the real answer?
Yes, for the
Damn
Lightning.
I could have named from Pittsburgh's team. Like, the last time they won was the year that the Steelers won, because that was like a big deal back then. And
Yeah.
I believe they had a guy named Giovanni Malkin.
Evgeny Malkin, yeah.
Yes, and I believe that as a human being. So I would put him on the list of.
We're gonna do.
Stamkos won 2 championships with the Lightning
That's
in
impressive.
2020 and 2021.
Okay, and
How about Magic Johnson and Oral Hershiser?
As soon as you started the word oral, I'm like, this cannot be an age joke. There's no way.
I did the worst research of all time, and I think I have it here.
Okay.
In 2002, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Anaheim Angels, and the Los Angeles Sparks all won championships.
Who are the Sparks? Is that like a bowling team?
I mean, if we're
Fireworks team?
if we're counting hockey, just throw in the WNBA too. Why not?
You're going to tell me you don't want a magazine with Shaquille O'Neal, Troy Gloss, and Lisa on the front of it? You're going to tell me that's not going to sell issues?
Gloss would definitely ruin that. But Lisa Lovely is more well known than Troy Gloss.
Him and David Eckstein out there? Just
Oh,
doing
dude, I know the team. Oh, who's another guy?
Scott Spezio. Let's keep going.
From that team?
Yeah, Jared Weaver. Come
No,
on.
there's a lefty hitter.
Garrett Anderson.
Jim Edmonds.
Did you said Eckstein?
Yeah. He used to crow hop from short.
What year is that? So 7, right?
Rafael Palmeiro. No, wait. He played in Baltimore. Who's the other guy?
I found an interesting list here. It's since 2010, the cities with the multiple championships in the Big Four. So you've got Boston with 7. So the Celtics won twice. This is since 2010. The Celtics won twice. The Bruins won twice. Red Sox twice, and the Patriots 3 times. Then San Francisco's also got 7. The Giants won 3 times, and the Warriors, of course, they're 4 times. And then the Los Angeles with 6. The Lakers 2. Actually 3. Then they got the Kings, Dodgers, the Rams got theirs, and then Chicago 4, Kansas City 4, and Tampa with 3.
This is a reach. 79 Pittsburgh.
Okay.
The Steelers and the We Are Family Pirates won in the same year.
Who's Orlando Palmeiro, not Raphael? That's what I was
Darren
saying.
Erstad.
Stud.
Oh,
That's where I was
okay.
going. It was
Clutch.
D.E. Eckstein, yeah.
Clutch.
And then
Pretty
another one, Dallas McPherson. What year did Anaheim win?
2002, because they had Benji Molina behind the plate, and he was a stud. And he was so fat.
New York by
I'm going back to 02. I'm looking at the Anaheim roster because there's
Because you didn't want to miss Garrett Anderson.
no Erstad was the one I was thinking.
New York has 61
Yeah,
championships.
Erstad was on that team.
Yeah, but Isaiah, they're kind of weird stuff like roller derby.
Yeah, weird
Yeah,
stuff like hockey.
Yeah.
The Yankees make up for 27 of those 61.
Yeah, and then they have 2 basketball teams, 2 football teams,
Right.
2 hockey teams, really 3 if you count New Jersey because you're counting the football teams. They have at least 1 women's basketball team.
Yeah, Boston 2nd, Chicago 3rd, LA 4th, and then Detroit 5th,
Yeah, if you
22.
If you get to play the most cards, you're going to have the best hand. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
go, Fred, what's next? He goes, dude, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, because like before you were like, hey, we're gonna do athletes from the same city. And I'm like, at different times, he goes, I don't care. And then I get on, and he goes, they have to be there at the same time. And I'm like, oh, well, I might as well start Googling it then, Fred, thanks. But he changes his mind half the time. But I was surprised that Fred actually had something prepped going into that part, because usually it's like,
There's no I have a loose framework. Sometimes I get distracted by Dalton Kincaid talk for 20 minutes when I'm into it.
shooting guard from Temple.
We have,
Stud.
out of a 3-hour program, we probably know 4 segments that we have to talk about.
No, it's
And then the
six.
other 2 hours are like,
And then a little improv is making gay jokes and then home run derby jokes.
well, I mean, we have to.
Yeah, have
Totally
to.
have to.
At least for Tuesdays. I don't know if you make gay jokes the other day.
You know, I was
Not as
thinking to
much.
myself,
Not as much.
I got ready to come to work today. I thought to myself, you know, if there's a prop for more or less to be fairs on the show
To be fair.
for each day, would I take it? And then I was like, you know, I think it's probably really like 3 out of 5 shows, maybe 4 out of 5. So if I was a betting man, I was like, I'm going to see if they do it today. And you guys pulled it out. So I
Let's
thought,
contact our friends at Prize Picks and then put it on the list, the more or less.
Zay, you said you were ready for work and you went with the banana cream cutoff hoodie. I
yes,
see.
well, I was
How guns out, my man.
going to the gym after.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Going to stop at home first.
When we got into Duke City Cages
You
today,
let those arms loose at the gym?
Yeah.
Say,
yeah.
that's unfair to normal people.
you wear your Alabama
You
hat.
can't do that.
I should wear the Alabama hat. There's some big dudes in there. Now they may have some extra help, but there's some big guys
Oh,
in
like a
there.
spotter? Like a spotter?
Yeah, like
that's
a
what you mean, like a
spotter, yeah.
spotter. Yeah, like a spotter.
When showing the list of teams with the most NBA title, or excuse me, when showing the list of teams with the most titles in NBA history, NBC Sports Boston placed a note on the Lakers reading includes Disney World title.
No championship in 2020 counts. Like I saw the baseball. I'm sorry, that is the year the Lakers won. That's not why I'm going with this. You know what's funny? It's also the year the Dodgers won.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a joke.
6 3-pointers in the first half for Jason Tatum today.
It's because I didn't pick him in fantasy.
He's heating up. Hey,
Seriously.
tomorrow take the lefts.
Maybe.
It's a Jalen Brown
They
game.
playing back-to-backs their first 2 games of the year. Is that what they're doing to them? Is that what they do to the champs now?
You want to be the champs is what it takes.
No.
Who did Obama pick this year? That's who I'm going with.
Trump. Wait, not what you asked. Sorry. I'm just kidding.
That's who
Probably the
I'm-
Bulls.
Duke, I believe.
Well, he went on JJ Redick's podcast today. Obama did, or
Did
his
not
old
see that.
podcast or whatever.
No head coach should have a podcast.
No, he doesn't have it anymore, but
Okay.
it's been absorbed.
Oh, somebody else hosts it. Okay.
The Young Man and the Three is what it's called.
Dolan Connect hosts it.
Hey,
Handpicked by JJ.
getting a ton of opportunity. JJ handpicked his number. That's what it was. He said he originally had a jersey for himself, number 4, that he wanted to wear on the sideline like a baseball manager. And the front office was like,
His name is Connect. If you don't
That's so
give
dope.
him the number 4, you have the worst marketing.
Is he
team in
number
the
4?
NBA.
yes.
Yeah, he's number 4, just
He's
like Reddit.
Connect 4.
Yeah. Hold on. If his last name wasn't Connect, Zay, you think he still gets number 4?
He is a
Yeah,
first-round pick. He's a
Maybe
first-round
he did say he was a Reddick fan.
Hey, what if you showed him and was like, I want number 9?
pick. Oh, give me 32.
32, obviously off limits. But if your first round draft pick comes to you and say, I want number 9, and then your second round draft pick comes to you and say, I want number 9, like that's normally a no brainer, right?
I heard he asked for 8 and
Unless
then
LeBron's-
24,
Yeah.
actually.
He wanted a
LeBron-
jersey.
I want to wear 8 at home and 24 on the road.
Gotta have that killer mentality at home.
They're asking. If they have to ask LeBron. He's the one that decides to let him switch jersey numbers.
When he legally changed his last name, like Meta World Peace, to say Mamba.
Yeah.
Because
They should make Bronny wear like 137, like they do rookies in spring training.
Is that how many minutes he played all of college?
Oh, no. That's how he's gonna get all season.
that's a good one.
That might be how many points he scored in college. He averaged 4 points,
Yeah.
and he played about 30 games.
You're on to something.
Yeah, they should make players wear either their draft pick, their draft number, or their how many points per game they average.
Lakers and Timberwolves tip off in 1 hour. It is must-watch TV tonight. We don't need to give you a prediction, except call your dad because it's going to be an awesome one.
That'd be pretty
It's going to be an awesome one. Isaiah back at the station.
Lakers are going to win this one.
Jared Gay here at Duke City Cages.
Bronny scored 120 college points.
That's a good way to end it. Van, final words?
Too much for the time allotted, my friend. But anything we didn't cover, check out tomorrow morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you tomorrow, Burke.